What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday, and welcome here to Series E MultiVersus as we close out another week here. We're in the heart of Season 1 of Series E MultiVersus, and it's been a hell of a journey so far, and we're looking forward to the rest of it. Happy Friday. My name is Yeso. Welcome in today. Hope you have had a wonderful week, and hope you're excited to end it the right way here with us at Esports Arena on a beautiful Friday afternoon. For those of you that are new, let's break down just how Series E works so we are all on the same page, and then we'll just get right into the fun. Now, Series E is a professional esports open circuit that absolutely anyone can join across multiple different titles. We've got Apex Legends, Guilty Gear Strive, and of course, MultiVersus. Now, the way that it works is players and teams come out, they compete in our open qualifiers, and the best of the best make it into Series E. Now, what does that mean for them? Well, players will get the opportunity to sign a contract, get sponsored by one of our partnered brands, earn a monthly salary, and compete weekly for points and prize money. In MultiVersus, it's every single Friday against some of the best duos from all across the North American MultiVersus scene. Now, if you and your friends want to get involved, maybe have further questions, head over to esportsarena.com today, and you can find all of that info there that you need. Now, as we turn our attention here to tonight's competition, again, we are in the heart of the season on the back half too, so the home stretch getting very close for these teams, and we had some big results over the last few weeks. Of course, the biggest story here 2023 in Series E MultiVersus has been Team Vitamin Water, right? Mirrorman and Costelix, the most dominant team so far this season, and they turned it on in our first competition of the new year. They have won now 5 of the first 7 competitions this year, only broken up by Moonlit Knights a few weeks back with one of their best performances so far. They've been very strong in their first few weeks competing here in Series E. And then, of course, last week was Mike and Ike week, and Mike and Ike showed up big. We didn't have the entire team here as Martoons was unavailable to play, but Ramss with sub Swerve were the best team a week ago. They were very, very solid, dominant, honestly, throughout the bracket, and took the title during their sponsored week. Martoons now back in the fold here this week, competing alongside Ramss, and they'll be looking to get that repeat. Of course, Martoons will be looking to get that first victory of the season for himself, but Ramss held up and held the fort last week, and we'll be looking to do the same here, of course, this time around. Vitamin Water is going to be looking to return to the top. And then, of course, you have to talk about Aegon by AOC and State Fair. The partner duos, honestly, all looked good last week, but those two still looking for a return to form. State Fair, we saw some strong play from early in the season, right before the new year. And Aegon by AOC has had flashes of brilliance, but have struggled to put together that kind of complete performance that you really need to have to contend here in Series E. So definitely keep an eye on those two duos. They're going to be looking for strong starts early in the bracket and really be looking to make some noise, because Mike and Ike certainly did that a week ago. Now, my friends Ajax and Zipmaster Flex will be bringing you all of the action throughout today's bracket. And of course, I'll be here to break things down in between and keep you up to date on what's going on all across that bracket. But let's not waste any further time. It's Series E MultiVersus. It's Friday, and it's time to get into the fun.
Come on, what's going to be the play? Uppercut. Yes, sir. Up there. And
There we go.
We're
going to have a 2-full stock lead.
Oh, and then the butt bomb conflict is out of there. Oh my God.
With you, but I mean, look at how close it is already. We have all 4 players at over 100%. Mirrorman's going to lose his first stock off. The dagger on the Velma, which is going to be very good because then it can just be bringing himself right on over to deal with Martoons. And they're going to be able to get it to
He knows he can't really send Arya.
Bro, Mirrorman is looking so hard for this kill, and he's going to be able to get it. Oh my goodness. Blue team going to take the first game out of nowhere.
Welcome everybody to some Series E MultiVersus action. I'm your boy Zipmaster Flex. I am here with that boy Ajax as always, and we're ready to break it down for y'all for the night on the 1s and 2s. Ajax, how are you feeling about the bracket that we've seen and the players that we have here tonight?
Oh, you already know it's time to show up and get some work done. And after last week, Swerve does as he usually does, showed up, got paid, left. as the substitute, got the W, and has done this with many events before where he's showed up, gotten big Ws, very consistent. But we do get the return of Martoons tonight, which, of course, is also still an incredibly threatening team. There's a reason why Team Mike and Ike has been Martoons and Ramss for quite some time. But noticeable absence as well, replaced by more of New York's finest. We are not going to see Team World Detectives tonight. I believe that they're at Winter Clash, at least one of them. But that does not mean we don't get New York's best, because we have Key Wonder and Bugz, who will be coming in today to showcase, this is, in my opinion, one of the greatest teams we have available now too, because in the offline scene, they're constantly winning, they're coming through, they're getting Ws at our events over in Connecticut, and they've also gotten a championship as well with Frostfire. So this isn't going to be any slouch of a 7 seed coming into this week.
Not at all, not at all. We've got some bangers in here. A lot of representation from the previous week. You just broke down the newcomers, hit them with that right there. The newcomers of the week. This is
Bugz over here on his Dr. Evil, just sitting here with his finger like that, like $1 billion, more like 500, but still, it's money on the line, like we said before, and those points, like Asa was just saying. Zip, we're in the latter half of the season, so all bets are off. You have to start playing to your best. As you can see, you got 7 minutes default timer, 4 ring outs. Stage hazards are off, and the stages we will be using include both versions of Sky Arena's Trophy's Edge, Batcave, and Cromulons. And if you want to get to those sponsorships, you gotta play your best, and we've seen some breaks in the armor of that Team Vitamin Water, even though it's very rare when you do see a break in the armor, because they've just been so dominant.
Yeah, they've definitely been dominant recently. But as always, we've got our double elimination. It's 2v2s. Best of 3 all the way until top 4. Matches occurring in top 4 will be best of 5. Timer 7 minutes. Ring outs 4. Stage hazards are off. Perks are all legal. Winners must keep the same characters. If you lose, you may switch characters in the set. Stage selection is Trophy's Edge, Batcave, Sky Arena, platforms and non-platforms, Cromulons, $500 in that prize pool. Like we said, that breakdown's first place $300, second place $150, third place is $50, and the qualifications. You're trying to get the biggest points you can by the end of the season and try to get a sponsorship. You saw that breakdown right there, the first place 50, and so forth and so on. So you want to get as many points as you can and try to get a sponsorship like Team Vitamin Water, like Team Aegon by AOC, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot on the line. The guys are they're fighting for something here, and there's that bread. Everybody wants to split that little bread for first place, but everybody wants that sponsorship, the salary sponsorship at the end of the season.
It's P to the third power, man. Placings, points, and pride. Because you already know they want to get all of those W's in. They want to get that big win. Because it's not just about getting the dub and being first at the end of the season. It's also about finishing the season and reminding everyone else who's the best team in the business. And of course, a lot of these teams have a good category for that. It's kind of hard to challenge the near uncontested Vitamin Water for that #1 seed. But we do have some mix-ups in the way that the matches will be played out again today, because the #2 seed not being in the building guarantees that every other seed that would have normally been in those spots moves around a bit. So going over the seeds to start it off tonight, our #2 seed tonight will be Moonlit Knights, because why not? Broski's and Upsitir have been on fire, as Yesha was talking about a little while ago again too. One of the few teams to get a W, not just overall, but also they beat them last week too. So they have the ability to get it done. And that put them up here at 2nd seed. Team 3, of course, Team Mike and Ike, they got the W last week, regardless of whether it was Martoons in Rams or Swerve and Rams. It was still the team that got it done. Martoons Rams is incredibly dangerous. And then rounding out at the 4th seed will be another returning face that we didn't get to see last week. And this is one of the most hyper-aggressive cores that we've had the pleasure of talking about. It's going to be Apache and Shiro coming back today. And the bottom half of that list is still incredibly dangerous teams. Who do we got at the bottom 4?
The bottom 4, man. Moonlit Knights, you know what I'm saying? Wait, you just talked about those guys. We're talking about Team State Fair is where we're picking up at. State Fair, Meth, and Clueless. Those, you guys already know, those are 2 of my favorites. They always show up, and even if they don't end up taking the tournament or make it to that top 3, they're fun to watch. So we got those guys pulling up here. They're obviously one of the best because they have one of the sponsorships. Then you go down to 6th, and we got Palm, Chi, and Combo. Now, when we're talking about these sponsored teams, this is one of the unsponsored teams. This is one of the ones that are fighting for the sponsorships. The other ones are fighting to keep the sponsorships. These guys are fighting to get one of them. And, with a bunch of sponsored teams in here already, it feels like they're on the way. We've been seeing them in here a lot, so they're on the way to getting one of those on their name. Because if you're already sponsored, you can't get re-sponsored, right?
Yes.
So let's move on to 7th. We got Team Brooklyn. That's what you were talking about earlier. That's Bugz and hold on, what was it? Bugz and
Key Wonder.
Bugz and Key Wonder. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So we know about them already, right? But here in Series E, I personally haven't seen them, so I'm excited to see what they've got. Obviously, we're gonna see some Bugz.
So actually, no, we won't.
What you got?
No
Bugz?
So no.
Play?
So Bugsby clicks the random button on whatever he feels like is the strongest character that season. But also,
he doesn't main Bugz though.
No, he doesn't. He's actually, so he started as a Harley main. This is Bugsby that we see on Twitter all the time, who is constantly switching characters, and he's mostly been committed to playing Stripe right now. Stripe and the Wonder Woman are very strong, but he's also played some Superman recently too. Now, granted, this isn't the offline matchups that he's been going up against. Like I said, over at MultiVersus Mayhem, he's been going up against like Paradox and Streamline. Recently, they actually held an L2 Light Wisp and Gusto, which was Steven and Finn, with that same team comp that made him try out the Superman. So we could see Superman here today. It's very strong. But in my opinion, I think if they're going to try to get the W tonight, we're probably going to see that Stripe Wonder Woman from Key Wonder in Bugsby. And then, like you were alluding to a little while ago, Palmchi and Combo, they had a big upset last week too. If I remember correctly, I think they were the team that beat World's Greatest Detectives. So, yeah, and that was with the Iron Giant and combination of Bugz, no, excuse me, not Bugz, the Steven Universe. The Steven Universe Iron Giant combo we saw last week was ridiculous. And we're also seeing more Steven start to show up and show people, hey, stop forgetting about this character. This character is actually pretty solid.
Very, very, very.
Don't have to do this.
Man, we're getting into a game, but we forgot about the 8th seed, Aegon by AOC. Oh, so we're not getting into the game. But yeah, so yeah, the 8th team is Aegon and AOC. That is Ross and Cinco. So those guys, I'm ready to see what they've got. They always bring the heat. They're obviously here in the top 8 for a reason. They're 8th seed for a reason. So I'm ready to see what they got going on. What's going on with you, Jack?
I was just talking about Streamline. That's okay. For one, I'm gonna give some history Streamline real quick. This guy shows up to my local every single week. Our entry is $15. He gives us 20, refuses to take the 5 back. Also, gave a $100 pop bonus out of nowhere, just cuz. Also, plays literally everyone. This guy is a comedian. He's great. We're gonna be seeing him team with Mirrorman today. I didn't realize it was Mirrorman and not Coslick, because I forgot. I definitely saw a Twitter post. Coslick is in the UK right now. So
nice.
So actually we're going to see Mirrorman and Streamline today. And don't sleep. Streamline is one of the best players that Massachusetts has to offer in the Northeast period. He's primarily a Bugz player, but of course you can't play 2 of the same characters, on the same team. Mirrorman being the primary Bugz and 2s, you're probably going to have Mirrorman go at that, where Streamline is probably contested for the best Bugz in 1s with what he does. But he has a lot of characters, and I just saw him hovering over Morty from the looks of things there. Bugz and Morty, we talked before about how Bugz in like Iron Giant or others, or Bugz in Velma cover so much stage. Same thing shows up with Morty. So that could be a very dangerous duo we're going to see here.
All right. I'm excited for that. That's interesting. I didn't notice it. I was, trying to break down because I noticed that they were going to close that one out.
I saw
and
the
get
name.
back
I'm
into
like,
the match.
wait, whoa.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. So that's going to be interesting. So now, wait, what did you say Coslick was in the UK for?
I have no idea. I didn't. I'm not reaching to his personal like that.
Oh, gotcha.
But I did see a post about it. And starting things off here, like I said, we do have Mirrorman and Streamline. This is the essentially the 2 best Bugz players in the game. But like we said, you can only use one or the other. Versus Ross and Cinco. I mean, enough can't be said about these 2. As we see a dare already come through to get Mirrorman making a mistake over on the side of the stage. That's going to be a free early KO to start things off.
Very early KO, very, very early. That's not what you want, but you definitely want to see this zoning coming out from Streamline. He is making sure that things are rocking. Man, oh my gosh, he tried to. What happened? Something messed up again.
So it seems like that it might have possibly been a connection issue with Mirrorman to start off the first of the game, because he did make a very uncharacteristic movement towards the right that got him spiked. So we're going to go ahead and probably reset the lobby, get that situated, because we want to make sure everything is good to go once we start. So bear with us for a moment. But on to Ross and Cinco, since we're talking about Mirrorman and Streamline. Like I said, I have a lot to say about Streamline, have a lot to say about Mirrorman, 2 of the most positive personalities and faces you can see in this community, really. But Ross and Cinco, this is another team who, from the very beginning, has been teaming together. We mentioned it last week, and some people didn't know. They've been teaming together since Alpha Test 1. Like, when we had closed access to play and only limited people could play. These two have been teaming since the beginning, and it's always been Superman Arya, except for the occasional swap where we see the Black Adam showed up for a bit. Black Adam got changed a little bit, so we're seeing Superman come back because Superman did get some buffs. But we also did see last week the Bugs Bunny showed back up. So Ross has a good pool of characters, but primarily their game plan is, what if I hit you, we go up, but you don't come back? And that's at 0. And that's primarily where they go.
But you don't come back. That is hilarious.
Look, we're the 2 of us gonna take you somewhere, but only the 3 of us are going somewhere, but only 2 of us are coming back. And that's a majority of what these two do. It's so dangerous
it sounds like a terrible space mission.
Is that like the plot to Interstellar or something? Like, look at
any of them come back?
I'm not trying to spoil it, but I mean, if we're going down that route, look, it's like the same point where Matthew McConaughey was looking through, he's trying to yell to himself, "No, don't go!" That's like anybody who we see go anywhere near Senko at any point because they think, "Oh, Arya is the lighter one, let me hit them," and then Ross just swoops in, says, "What are you doing here? I ain't say you can come talk to me. I ain't tell you could come over here." Like, like, no,
get away from my niece.
Yeah, facts. I already told my sister I'm gonna move next door. I'm putting a fire hose attached to the hydrant outside, putting it right at the door. Saying, I see anybody go anywhere near that door towards my nieces, I'm going to push them away first. Ask questions later. But all jokes aside, though, this team is incredibly dangerous for good reason. There's also a reason why they are Team Aegon by AOC. They earned that sponsorship by their own merit. And this is a team that, to start things off, especially with the fact that Mirrorman and Streamline haven't teamed together, at least in this, that does bode the potential for an upset because it's not the same team that they've been struggling with over the past few weeks with Mirrorman and Cosmics.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see what they're gonna do. I mean, we've almost gotten fully into the game a couple times, but once it gets really going, I want to see what kind of chemistry they have. I want to see how well they play together. I love one of the things I always talk about with Mirrorman and Cosmics is how well they communicate. How you can tell, like, if you ever watch their streams when they're playing, they're calling out everything they do. Nothing is by mistake, right? So I'm interested. I want to see what goes on here in this match.
Yeah, the thing with looks like we're having one more problem here, so it might be a Streamline thing. We'll find out, and most likely it'll be heading over to the TOs to get a confirmed decision on where they want to go with that next. So we will get back to that once it's ready. Apologies for any issues we might be going through, but again, Streamline is one of the biggest brains that we have in the MultiVersus community. If anybody has tuned into any of his matches before as Bugz in 1v1s or 2v2s, you see the layers that he goes for. I don't think I've seen anybody utilize the traps that he does with that character to the degree that he does. He covers like 4 different options using safe, pie all at once. So we'll figure out how they go with that afterwards. But we're going to go to a temporary break as we get everything situated. Don't go anywhere because we will be right back with the beginning of Series E Multiverse Edition Friday night. right, apologies for the delays, but we are here. We're ready to rock. We have Team Moonlit Knights versus Team Brooklyn. Where they at? They're right here, and this is exactly what we were expecting to see. We did see the Shaggy previously last week show up. There's Zip, but we do see that Stripe and Wonder Woman showing up from Bugz and Key Wonder.
Yes, sir. We've got these characters out here ready to rock. Got the armor on. The shots are flying, and this is some good news from both teams to start off. I do see a little bit of an advantage for the red team, and we see a Superman dive off the left side of the stage. It looks like there are more issues to come. Man, I just want to get to the action. I just want to see him scrap. It was looking so good.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna get it eventually. Apologies again, everybody. It was looking good for a second there, but like we were saying, Team Bugsby and Key Wonder, very, very solid core that Stripe and the Wonder Woman have put in a lot of work. They have a championship to their belt. They have a lot of other really strong wins too, not just from the offline scene, but from the online scene too. Bugsby even saying recently that he believes so strongly in his team that eventually he's gonna challenge people to big money matches just for it. I won't say the exact numbers because he might maybe back off of it. It was a pretty high number, but you never know. So I think that this is again one of the strongest teams, and we're seeing the commitment to Broski's not playing the Velma right now. He's pretty committed to trying out the Shaggy.
Yeah, I mean, the Shaggy is always a fun pick. Every time we see Shaggy, I'm excited. I love to see that character, and I think he fits. He's one of those. I guess if you want to take it to a 2D fighter standpoint, he's a Shoto, right? He plugs into any
kind of, yeah. He's that all-arounder. He's literally got a Shoryu.
He's got a fireball. He's got a Shoryu. He's got a
true sandwich is a fireball. You're right.
It's a fireball. You know what I'm saying?
It is a fireball. You are right.
His kick is the Tatsu. He's literally he's a Shoto. But no, he just plugs into teams because he doesn't do anything exceptionally well. He's just a monster of a presence. If he's near you, you're in for an issue, and he can make. I think he's a strong read character. If he catches you slipping, trying to make a play, anything he does is gonna be a banger hit, and it'll put you in a terrible situation. Especially once you're around 70 to 80. Once you're past that, anything he touches you with might be the demise of your stock. So I like him being plugged into the team. I love the Stripe on the other team. So this is shaping up to be a good one if we could see it.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely a lot of inspiration from even characters like Liu Kang too, the flying sidekick, the flutter kick of the Nair being that same. The same bicycle kick that he does. So it's that protagonist fighter style character, and it's unique too because it's Shaggy fighting Superman and such. They had to do something, and I love the uniqueness that a lot of these characters have, the design behind them. I mean, we've talked about how Tom and Jerry, the uniqueness to that. They're literally attacking each other the whole time, and you're getting hit for trying to interrupt their fight. That's literally what their whole move kit, and I can't wait to see whatever else they do with other characters too. It's only gonna it can only get even better from what they've been doing, and some of the moves have even been changed pretty decently from the beginning to still kind of match that same creativity. So I've loved the character design behind each one.
Tom and Jerry, I love that you mentioned them. That is actually one of the most interesting fighting game characters I've ever seen. Right. I mean, I can't lie and say because Smash does kits very, very well. You know what I'm saying? When they take a character and put it in the game, it's my goodness, everything that they're doing is from their game. It's so good. But MultiVersus does it with characters that you could have never imagined to be fighting. That's what's so cool about how MultiVersus does it. I mean, talking about Bugs Bunny being a fighting game character, it's he literally just looks like a cartoon character wilding. In one of his episodes. It's so good. It
does. It really does. It just feels like you just ripped them right out of the show, and that's the really cool thing. And I mean, even what's some Iron Giant, right? You look at Iron Giant, and I had to watch the movie to find some of the references again, because his whole thing is that he's trying not to fight except for when he's in the rage mode, and that's about it. So we're gonna go ahead and toss it over to Yeso real quick so we can figure out what else we want to talk about, for one here, and two, just to hear about what he thinks about his character designs.
First of all, I'm with y'all, and especially because Iron Giant is one of my favorite movies of all time from when I was a young kid. Just wants to be like Superman, which I'm all for, so a big fan of that. But unfortunately, I am here with bad news. As you may have noticed, just dealing with some server issues, and it appears that custom matches might be what are getting affected the most. So sadly, I believe production has let me know that we are going to have to call it for today. Just, it's not a good experience for the players, which means it's just not going to be a good experience for you folks watching at home. So, we'd rather, cut it there and not try and, slog through just some server issues that I don't think are going to benefit anybody. So unfortunate. Bums me out, but we got to do what we got to do, and hopefully, everything is resolved and we're good to run it back next week. The plan is, though, we're going to throw up a little rebroadcast. You can check out the action from last week from Mike and Ike Week and see that impressive run from Swerve and Ramss that I was talking about at the top of the show. And then just make sure you're back here next week. Apex Legends, Guilty Gear Strive, and MultiVersus, Wednesday through Friday. It'll be a full block, and we're looking forward to getting back into the swing of things on that front. But that is going to do it for us today. So I hope you enjoy the rebroadcast, enjoy this very impressive run from Team Mike and Ike's and all the other teams that competed a week ago. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have a wonderful weekend as well. If you're here in Southern California with us, I hope you enjoy the weather. Plenty of rain here, and I'm all about it. So that does it for me, folks. Big thank you to Ajax and ZipMasterFlex. Unfortunately, we don't get to hear their beautiful casting all day long, but I guess we'll have to wait for it more in the future. For myself, though, the entire live broadcast crew, and everybody here at Esports, we're going to have a wonderful rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend, and enjoy a little bit of a throwback to Mike and Ike Week.
And works quite well. So this week again going to be another exciting bit of MultiVersus. I did see that the wonderful folks over at MultiVersus did update us and let us know Ranked is coming back next week in full force. So you already know if these teams were thinking, oh man, we're just kind of practicing just for the heck of it for the big show on Friday. No. You got something else to play for. That's going to be Ranked. And here we go into winners round number 1. You know them, you love them. It's Vitamin Water on the screen.
Yep, and this time Mirrorman is back, and actually
it's Luck. The betrayal. This is literally betrayal, Charles.
And I mean, shout outs to Luck. Again, huge shoes to fill when you're, coming into play for Vitamin Water
Yeah.
last week. Still second place finish, fantastic
man.
showing. But now we got Vitamin Water at full power here. We'll see what they can do. But Team Luck here already starting things off with the lead.
Yeah, not bad, taking advantage of Velma right there, and that's really what you want to see. Like one thing that I think is going to be going, at least for Costlix and Mirrorman, is they understand. Okay, we had that 4 week win streak, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously Luck filled in last week, as you just said, they got second place. But Mirrorman's probably thinking, well, there's a little bit of an asterisk next to that, right? Same character, but not the same player, right?
Right.
I wasn't there. I'm back right now. I'm here to take us back to the top of the mountain, but they're not starting off too easy right now. Definitely a tall challenge in Dante and Luck. Struggling a little bit, though, I must confess.
Tried to get the wall bounce combo into the up special, but oh man, both the blue team getting caught up, but no. Dante not gonna get the edge guard, but
beautiful.
does get the command grab and getting ducked to the side as Mirrorman evening things up 2 points a pop.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need. You gotta make those big plays for sure. Not afraid. And one thing about Superman, you've got to pay this character. I know there's been some changes, some adjustments, but you still have to pay him the proper amount of respect. He is a demon when he's got you off stage just trying to snipe those stocks off relatively early.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, not as early as before, but still on the earlier side, and it just still doesn't take away how strong this character is off stage. The dash is just really good. I mean, having that multi-hit neutral air is going to be very strong here. Okay, almost getting hit up by the rocket, but Dante's still alive here, trying to abuse that weight, and you got to be really careful because already 3 points here for the red team. If they can sneak in one more, the dodge through the nair.
Yeah, good awareness by Mirrorman. He knew Superman was looking to end him quick, fast, and in a hurry. 156. This is what we saw a lot last week, actually, was the fact that Superman, just his ability to survive for so long, really just helps these teams hold on. But the double KO, not gonna matter. Team Vitamin Water. Good Lord. They scrambled their brains so much, they scrambled the name up top. What's that, Tim? Okay, they fixed it. They fixed it. Reductions on top of it. Let's go.
Team of Vitamin Water, man.
I like it. Good stuff. That was beautiful.
But, man, again, this team is so clutch. There's so many scenarios where Team Vitamin Water will be down, but they know exactly what their win condition is, and they set it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Mirrorman is so on point with those up rockets. Those up rockets just to, either command space or to get the double KO there to clutch it out. Really nice stuff there coming out from Team Vitamin Water in a game that was looking pretty grim,
Yeah, it definitely didn't start out the right way, right? They were down a point the majority of it, and then, kind of came to that situation where, as we said, red team, they got 3 on the board, blue only has 2, and then the double KO. Exactly what they needed to steal that game and get things back on track. It's always a good feeling to get game 1 out of the way. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make you want to coast for the rest of the set, obviously, but it just kind of gives you a little bit of breathing room. And for a team like that, who's enjoyed a lot of success over the last couple of weeks, they're definitely in a position right now to maybe take this 2-0. We'll see if Luck and Dante can respond in turn.
Yeah, and they had such a great lead, but there's one thing in doubles that you always want to make sure is you want to be close enough to your teammate where you can respond and maybe get them out of a combo or confirm, right? But you don't want to be too close to the point where you're both getting hit by the same move. That is one thing, and just that slight little slip up from the blue team there, and I mean, you just saw how they got punished, right? The double KO, and I mean, just such a quick turnaround in that scenario. So very unfortunate. Obviously, Bugz Rocket is a not the fastest move, but a very, very powerful move, and it's very large.
Yeah, it's very powerful, large. I mean, controls so much space, and you just have to give it the right amount of attention too when it's out there. So definitely can't draw the eye for sure, no doubt about that. But again, excellent game number 1. That's one thing about Series Z, one thing about MultiVersus. That game number 1 can really set the tone for how this tournament could be shaping up. You already know this bracket is full of killers. No guarantee on whom is going to take it home, but obviously, it's always nice to see kind of like the champs of before last week, like 4 in a row. Nice to see them on par already. But again, just game number 1. So we're going to jump into game number 2 momentarily. But before we even jumped into that last game, I was talking about the fact that I've got to imagine a lot of the community and these players are excited about the return of Rank. They did make a note of it. That's going to be a permanent addition. And I saw my boy Rez tweet a follow-up, no duplicate characters on the team.
Okay.
Just so they're all clear about that, okay? No double Bugz and no double Iron Giant, none of that stuff. All right.
That is
Team with
something
somebody
they
who's
mentioned.
versatile.
Yeah, I remember they mentioned that fairly early on during the closed alpha. I didn't know if they were going to stick with it or not.
Well, when I see permanently, I want to know, okay, well, what, are you attaching a permanent rule set to that? And it looks like they are, so that's really, really cool. But no worries about duplicate characters here, at least on the same team, right? We do have 2 Bugz here. Not surprised at all to see that. Bugz still an incredibly strong character in any meta that we've seen throughout the MultiVersus history so far.
Yeah, and I know there's been talks about drafts and stuff like that. That would be crazy if it became a drafting, like you have to draft pick your characters, and then you could only one Bugz could be on the screen.
Give me 100 characters, I'm for it.
Right. So
I mean, a lot of options in that case.
that would be a little bit more down the line with more characters, but okay. Already looks like Vitamin Water riding that momentum, racking up a good amount of damage here onto the red team. Both safes are out.
Ooh,
okay, Edgeguard here. No, not going to connect.
Oh, nice use of that safe, actually. And I like the pressure that Mirrorman putting on right now. Good use of the rocket, too. Wasn't high enough to maybe catch and make the up air work, but still the pressure being put on right now got them into triple digits. And they are really just commanding the presence on this stage. I don't want to get too anti-efficient for these kills right now, but they are definitely in some prime position.
Ooh, up rocket. Oh, man, wow. Almost snuck the point there. Was luck on the Mirrorman here.
Oh, man.
Both safes offline now, trying to get the pulls set up. And wow, look at that aggression coming in from Vitamin Water, just instantly teleporting with the rabbit hole, getting a lot of aggression in. But the Edgeguard starting here, no, the scramble gets broken up. It's so huge for the blue team here. Vitamin Water trying to finish off these KOs, but just can't really put the nail in the coffin here.
Yeah, the damage is certainly there, but yeah, as you said, like unable to really just kind of close it out so far. Oh my goodness, that safe actually coming out of nowhere. You're worried about my man riding back to the stage with the Acme rocket, but no, it was the safe that actually ended up closing and getting them that first point on the board. See what else they can do. Oh, nice response immediately. Let's tie it all up. Oh, how about that? Forget the tie. We're going to just go ahead and take that lead real quick. And this time not Superman tanking, it's actually Bugz who is ascending over there. Luck playing out of his mind right now, trying to help his team get this victory in the second game.
Yeah, Luck just being such a menace right now. Can't really seal the deal here. 165% on this Bugz. Finally, the up attack coming out from Velma will do it for Team Vitamin Water. Going to get the armor and also launch that safe. Also setting up the hole here is the red team. Team Luck trying to get something started. They've got a good amount of damage taken. Oh, man.
That would have been nasty. I don't think it would have KO'd, but just the love when situations like that do present themselves. Blue team trying to get it back on track right now. Rabbit hole escape route, and then just resetting the situation. Nicely done. Oh, good combination string. Luck taking a lot of damage on that one.
Yeah, just reading the DIN, going for the double nair there into the up air. Great stuff. Okay, getting the reverse hit. Yeah, now Dante taking a good amount of damage. Like you are Superman and you can tank that good amount of damage, but when you lose the point there to like 120, that is not good. And then you're immediately spawn in and you just get comboed all the way up to what, 84%?
Not too often I see Superman in a situation where he needs to be rescued, but that little string right there was absolutely intense. Has that Miracle to get back safely and gonna commit to KOing Superman. I mean, he was already so far down, and Mirrorman found a little recovery route back up, so he was actually in a perfect position to capitalize off Dante maybe feeling a little too comfortable down below, and he would not be returning. So Team Vitamin Water back you kind of would expect, man. Back at it again in that winner's circle and moving on to round number 2.
Yeah, fantastic edge guard coming out from Mirrorman. This is what separates the great from the good in MultiVersus. It's how you edge guard in this game. It's so important. You can get so many points off of those edge guards, right? Mirrorman just using the charge dare, sees that Dante goes low and just immediately had that dare ready to go. And the great thing about Bugz is that dare is really, really quick. Not the most active dare, but very fast. So the way he sets up the traps off stage with it is so well. And then on top of that, there was an up rocket that forced Dante to recover low. So just incredible resource management coming out from Mirrorman, and the only thing that could have got Dante out of that situation was his teammate.
That's it. That was all that could have saved him, but unfortunately was not meant to be. So 2-0 for Team Vitamin Water starts things off very, very strong. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be too much of a surprise. I expect them to make a pretty strong run in this tournament, likely end up in winners and grand finals, something like that. But of course, you know, we got to see everybody else competing too, because there's always somebody with something to say. That's one thing about this tournament, is nothing is guaranteed, despite how consistent somebody may be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Mirrorman, you know, not being here last week, but showing absolutely ready to continue the trend For me, I feel like they're still fighting for this 5-win streak, right?
Yeah,
This team specifically. I know Vitamin Water did not get first place last week, but that was with a different roster. So we'll see if Team Vitamin Water can continue the, somewhat of a streak.
Yeah, I don't know where Mirrorman
5 in a
moved
row.
to, but the way he was playing, man, it must have had that gigabyte internet because he was moving. He was moving, bro.
Yes.
Flawless across the board. So you got to appreciate that for sure. And kind of reminding Koslick's like, yeah, there's a reason that we're them guys. You know what I'm saying? That other guy over there, he subbed in for me, but I'm gonna take care of that. And they did 2-0. So I got to give it up for sure, man. Always entertainment when we come to situations like this. But kind of looking ahead a little bit, I feel like these teams that we're seeing compete right now in Series E, I want to see these teams also when there are other tournaments start to pop up again on another scale, you know what I'm saying, like more consistent events, stuff like that. I hope that these teams stay together and they bring that to other brackets as well too, right? Because I think Series E, such an amazing proving ground for these teams. Like this is one of the hardest multiverse tournaments that you're going to come across. There's no doubt about that. So let's see them just keep that good consistency, because that's one thing I dislike in some other games is those static teams aren't there anymore. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just good player with good player, and it's every different tournament with somebody. And I like consistency in my teams. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's something I miss.
Because you always want that synergy, right?
Yeah.
And you want to see teams get played at the absolute highest level. So that's one of the pluses, big pluses here for Series E. Consistency here. Every week you're seeing the top level teams combat against each other. And look at here.
I need it.
We got Apache and Shiro. Oh, wow, that was quick.
If you guys didn't get an opportunity to see Apache and Shiro last week, well, let me tell you something. This is not the match to take a bathroom break in, okay? These two absolute killers. And it is going to be very interesting to see how our friends Ross and, why can't I ever read his name?
Cinco.
Cinco. Oh, is that Cinco?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Cinco.
Good Lord, I need some new glasses. Ross and Cinco back at it again. Love every time Ross is playing too. Big Ross fan. And one thing too, Charles, is this guy ever just gonna pick a true main? He's always switching it up.
I mean,
yet again.
I feel like everyone's Team Bugz today. I think, every team we've seen so far has had a Bugz bunny on it. And the crazy thing is, Shiro and Apache did not play this comp last week at all. No Bugz, no Batman last week. And then Team Aegon by AOC not running this comp, or to my knowledge, not
I
running
don't
this
think we
comp
got to
last
see
week.
him on stream last
Yeah.
week, so not entirely sure exactly what comp they ran. But nonetheless, the last time I seen him, this was that Bugz was certainly not on the side of Ross. But nonetheless, bringing it to the table this time, obviously we know Apache and Shiro, just two absolute beasts. And these are two characters that I feel like, they'll complement them pretty well too, especially that aggressive style that we know they love to bring to the table. 3 points for the red. That'd be 2 for blue, so they are certainly trailing. Oh, don't be that. Don't be called up that. I don't do that.
Wow, and what a scramble there. And Team Aegon by AOC almost getting all the right trades at the right time, but just not enough. And since Apache and Shiro had that 1 point lead, that was exactly enough for the game to end. Wow, all the points are just flying at sub 50%.
It's so hard to just when you get them in that situation and you have people just scrambling that high up, and just how volatile an Acme Rocket can be and Up Air from Bugz can be.
Right.
And you've got 2 of them on the screen, 2 of those characters capable of that. It definitely is a little bit of a scary situation. As you said, we saw 2 points get put on the board in that scramble, but the problem was Shiro and Apache were already ahead of points, so they just kind of wrapped it up in that one. It's a gamble. When you make a play like that, it's definitely a gamble.
Yeah, but you definitely have to attempt to go for those point trades. And when we see the Acme Rocket just practically not on the screen because you're just so high up into the air by the blast zone, it's just man, these points are just gonna rack up back to back to back so fast, right? So if you blinked, you missed it, honestly. But very quick match for that game number 1. I think the one thing that Aegon can do is just maybe slow things down here, right? Maybe get more of the Bugz going. It is tough when you're playing Arya as well. Arya is just susceptible to, losing or getting KO'd pretty early, right? So you got to be really careful how you trade with Arya, because sometimes it's if I get this trade but I get traded as well, is it worth it in the long run? Yada yada, right? So it can be really, really tough in a lot of those situations, and depending on the stage and how Team Aegon want to work out here, because we've seen Bug Arya be successful before.
Of course,
definitely a team
that's
that can
not
be
something that we're unaccustomed to seeing. It's just Arya, as good as she is, her biggest drawback is that weight. like that is just that works to her detriment so many times. And when you have, players on the other side who are really good at exploiting things like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know their confirms, they know your weaknesses. It makes it a little bit more tougher. I know she's in the assassin class for sure, but, she's often the one being hunted, so it can be a little challenging for sure. But it wasn't only game one. It wasn't only game one, but definitely the theme that we're seeing for this event is certainly the Bugz. Everybody trying to whip out the Bugz, man.
Yeah, it is the year of the rabbit.
I guess
it's time.
I guess so, man.
Bring out the Bugz money
Bugz
skin.
likes to do that little kiss thing too. We are a week away from Valentine's Day. I guess it makes sense.
Okay, yeah. A little stun on the heart there, but we'll see what characters are going to be brought to the table here. I wouldn't imagine any changes from either side here. I feel like at this point you kind of almost have to lock down your character roster too. We're kind of getting a little deeper into the season, and some teams are still kind of swapping around with characters and stuff like that. But I feel like the more consistent teams right now have kind of locked in their character rosters and maybe have like specific pivots. But I mean, Apache and Shiro come in every week with practically different characters. So I mean, there are some teams that, and Apache and Shiro are definitely teams that average, 4th place, 5th place, which is still really solid. And sometimes even have a bit higher highs, but their character diversity is definitely up there. And Ross putting the S on his chest, man.
I was gonna say, man, this is definitely the Team Justice League is back at it again, man. Cinco bringing out the Wonder Woman, Ross back on that Soups, who I knew him for originally. Seen some Black Adam in there as well, but going back to basics right now. I mean, and this is, obviously, you're keeping Apache and Shuro, they're on the same team comp, but you're giving them a completely different look in these characters that you're bringing to the table. So see if that's going to be enough to at least get them on the board, right? That's really what it kind of comes down to. And then game 3, anything could potentially happen. Oh, good catch from Ross.
Okay.
See if he can finish it off. He can indeed. S on my chest means I'm the best. Let him know, Soups.
Duffed him right in the face after the command grab there. Amazing stuff coming out from Ross, and hasn't honestly taken too much damage here. And even then, the blue team very, very tanky. And oh man, so much coverage. The dive kick. Can you make it back? The side special to the wall. Great reset. And even though Cinco going into the fray, getting 2v1 there for a bit, it was able to give Ross a bit of time to get back onto the stage here.
100%. Definitely, again, Superman going to be your big, bulky tank.
Oh my
goodness, not shying away from making the big plays. Ross absolutely coming unleashed in this must-win game number 2. Let's see if Batman can fight his way back. No, sir! Back to the Batcave you go.
No. Oh man, Ross is on a rampage right now, just getting these charged Sairs, these charged down airs off stage, getting the exact read on the positioning. The edge guards from Superman can be so devastating, so much return, especially if you're getting the charge on these aerials.
This is looking like Superman Prime, baby. He doesn't care about anything, bro, just destruction. Absolutely being unleashed right now. Finally going to be able to put that man away, but only momentarily. They are in a very strong position, man. I have a lot of trouble believing this was not going to a game number 3. We'll see if Red Team can mount any sort of comeback. Trying to put some space between them. Bugz looking to maybe get some combo starters going. Got a nice little hit on Wonder Woman. Not going to be enough to KO. And Ross still just put himself in the fray. Not afraid of anything.
Yeah, and honestly, not taking that much damage. You usually see, wow, again, another charge there, getting duffed in the face. Ross feeling himself, and Cinco providing that rush down again. I mean, we usually see these double frontline teams with Wonder Woman more paired along the assassin side, right? Like Wonder Woman paired with an assassin, someone that's light, mobile, and then you can kind of give them more durability. I like how this team is doubling down on that durability and just rocking with the double tank, right? So already Superman can be very difficult when you're giving Superman additional armor and stuff like that. That's going to enable Ross to make even more aggressive edge guarding plays where it's like, okay, I don't even have to worry about a trade or anything like that. So incredible stuff, and that was a very convincing game number 2, honestly. I don't know.
Yes.
We could see a character switch coming out from the other side from Apache and Shiro here that would make sense. I don't know if maybe they're just like, okay, well, we can just go the same characters. We just got to make these adjustments. But, this team is very different from the last team that Ross and Cinco were playing for game 1.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And like I said, I feel like, you give a team, they win the first game, then you give them a completely different look. It's not going to be the same, especially when the first game was relatively close, too. It's not like they got blown out the water or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a close game for sure. But in that one, you watch that game and you just get the sense that Ross himself, I think he was the key to victory there because he just felt so comfortable. On Superman, he just felt so comfortable, fluid movement, confidence every time he left the stage, just racking up KO after KO after KO. That is definitely Ross in his element, and I feel like that's going to be very, very needed if they want to seal it away for Game 3.
Yeah, it's just not much to say in terms of like, well, every time if you go off stage and you charge an aerial and you hit them off stage and you kill them at like, what, 50% or something like that?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty solid. That's definitely going to be the key to victory here. And I mean, when you're getting that much return, that's the highest highs of Superman, right? So, you know, not every Superman game's like that. Sometimes you're getting comboed to Kingdom Come, and then, you know, you get KO'd a little on the earlier side, right? Maybe like 100, 120 and stuff like that. But honestly, Ross just wasn't even getting hit either. Every time I looked at Ross's percent, I was like, oh man, the percentages are really low. And Cinco was doing a great job of just either backing Ross up and or just setting up the edge guards for Ross as well, right?
I agree.
So once Cinco would get a hit in neutral, you would see Ross just immediately push forward and try to go for that edge guard, while Cinco was like more so covering the on-stage options from his opponents, maybe if they're going for the wall or maybe if they're trying to go up and around Ross. So incredible synergy coming out from this team.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely appreciated everything there. Just the way it started off, I was thinking in the back of my mind, I didn't want to say it. I was thinking in the back of my mind, oh, this man said it. Oh, this man said Game 3. He said Game 3 confirmed. You know what I'm saying? Old Clark Kent was not going to be denied on that. So I got to imagine the team comp certainly going to stay the same for Cinco and Ross. On the other side, though, we know Apache, we know Shiro. They play a multitude of characters, right?
A lot of characters.
Who's to say they're not going to be the ones switching things up? Taking a little minute to get to this game number 3, so they might be doing a little bit of deliberating and discussing not only on what stage they're going to elect to go to, but definitely what characters they could potentially bring out.
Yeah, they were running double assassin last week. I don't know if you want to run double assassin versus Superman and Wonder Woman. You're going to be very light, and if the same thing happens as last game, it's going to be even earlier percents, right? So we'll see what they opt going here.
They might just be thinking, well, if we can rush them down enough where they can't even convert and kill us.
It's very high risk, high reward.
Yeah,
the double assassin,
cool.
you're doubling down.
Yes.
It's all or nothing here. So we'll see if that's the pick. I mean, I know I was a huge fan of the Finn last week. Really fun to watch. The Harley as well. So we could see the double assassin come through, but we'll see if they stick with the Bugz team here, more of a standardized team here.
Only time will tell. I will tell you, no matter who they go, though, they've got to respect Ross when you're off stage and he's coming at you. You've got to respect him. You know, it's easy to just kind of like panic dodge. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I just want to get back to the stage. But Ross will feast on that, man. He's gonna wait because he doesn't always just throw it all out immediately, right? He's not. You know, it might charge something at you or look like he's going to cut out your almost what it seems to be like your planned out recovery route, but it's not always that simple, man. Thinking a couple steps ahead. Let's see. Oh, yeah, they're bringing it back. I said they had some characters in the tank. You already know if you've been a fan of Series E for a while and you've seen these two compete, you should not be surprised about this.
Yeah, my mistake. It was not the Harley. It was the Stripe last week. This was the team we
saw.
There
was a Harley, though, at one point. So
yeah.
It just didn't stay out very long.
Right. So, and this is the team, I would say, Team Apache and Shiro have done the best with, you know what I mean? Like they seem pretty comfortable with this team. A lot of majority of last week was ran with this team. I think Stripe not really light, but just the mobility on this team, right? And just both of these characters' hitboxes are insanely good. Finn's hitboxes, amazing. Stripe's hitboxes, amazing. And Stripe, honestly, even when Stripe's in the back, can set up some saw blades, has some setup, right? Finn has gem. It's not the greatest, but it is something to set up here. Trying to get this juggle to continue here, but no, not going to be able to get the follow-up. Oh, and Ross is still alive, 128 on the Superman.
There's not too many characters that can survive a hit that close to the blast zone. Still going to be keep on trucking and not give up a point. But Superman obviously afforded that ability, just being such a big body that he is. And you're seeing right now, Wonder Woman definitely the target of some aggression and finally going to pay off. Let's see if they can take care of Soup too. A couple of those bullets flying. Oh my goodness, throwing caution to the wind, but Finn on cleanup duty, top right, going to take care of business and put him up a point.
And you saw that 2v1 once Wonder Woman got KO'd. The red team just all in edge guarded there. I love the coverage. It was Stripe that was being a little bit more aggressive and Finn just covering the blind spots here.
That was sick. That was sick.
And just as I say that, there goes Apache losing another point to the blue team. Team Aegon by AOC is really turning up right now. Oh my goodness.
I don't really want to put too much blame on Apache, but just by design, the Superman, he can just crush you or he can just intimidate you into death. This man right now, Ross, he is not letting this switch go to waste. They are 1 point away from advancing into winners round 2. And you kind of look at how this is going, Charles, who's going to stop them?
Okay, trying to go up and around here. Ross is taking a good amount of damage. It is 3-2 here, but they could set up a double KO.
Right. That's
So
always
you always got to watch the red team here. They are lower in percent, so points might be a little deceiving here. I'd actually give the advantage to the red squad here.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you always have to be, like you said, points can be deceiving. It's that percentage that can really dictate how things are going to pan out, potential double KO, or just get individual ones too. I mean, look how high they are, 130s. Oh, using some frost breath, trying to gain a little bit of momentum back. Wonder Woman just barely hanging on Superman too. They are getting bullied right here, Charles. Do they have enough in the tank to get back? Wonder Woman does not. Superman going it alone momentarily.
Yeah.
Oh, but back to Krypton you go, and to round 2, Apache and Shuro get it done.
Yeah, and they just had
was
so much control towards the end of it, and it just felt like Team Aegon by AOC, their home felt like it was off stage or on the wall.
Yeah, man.
I mean, they were there for so long, they could not get on to the stage, and they did have the weight to back it up, so it did prolong the process.
Right.
But just the advantage state was so clean, always covering those really high recoveries, swanning them back in the same position. Really great execution, and I think that Game 3 specifically from both teams, we saw a lot of amazing 2v1 edge guards and just 2v1 scenarios where it's like, okay, I'll cover this option, and then my teammate will cover the other handful of options, and it should be a checkmate scenario for that point. Great execution on both ends, but Apache and Shuro really pulling ahead with the double assassin, or like that double front line, right? The Stripe and the Finn. Such a great duel. In terms of mobility, you're a little on the lighter side. You don't really have too much great projectiles, but they definitely make it work in terms of having that mobility and having the incredibly large hitboxes, right?
Yeah, I mean, you said it best, being on the lighter end, because Apache, he got KO'd pretty quickly right there to start out that game number 3. So you're kind of like, ooh, second guessing a little bit, giving up some weight here against this team, but they were able to just kind of grind it out. They were a little bit more scrappy. And when they recognized they had a 2v1 situation, they never let it go to waste. They were always honing in on there right away. Gotta imagine that's a byproduct of some great communication, some great comms they had between the two. So good effort for sure. Just coming up a little bit short, Cinco and Ross, but hey, you know what? The opportunity to maybe make a little bit of a run in losers bracket is still there, so no reason to give up hope just yet.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of great information too on terms of team comps. I know, Ross and Cinco have been a team that has been a little all over the place when it comes to character pool, right? So
they don't know what they want to play.
Right. So it can be rough. It can be rough trying to find that perfect balance of like, okay, well, I'm strong. Like me as a player, I'm strong at X, Y, and Z, so I'm trying to find a character that can, really push my strengths, but at the same time, it really needs to synergize with my teammate's character and stuff like that. So it can be really tough finding a good team roster, right, when you're coming in to a lot, and especially when you're playing at this level of play as well, right? So if you do have any holes or weaknesses within your team, it just gets exposed really quick when you're playing at this level of play. So again, like I said, you're finding out a bunch of great information, and you're trying to solidify that character roster.
Yeah, I think to your point too, it just kind of comes down to the fact that they recognize, okay, well, yeah, we do have like a situation where we are trying to solidify that roster, and I get, why they did, go the Bugz combination in the first one, right? Just again trying out some new things. Never anything wrong with that, but I really do think this team's success can really hinge on the fact that Ross just sticking with that Superman, and then just getting the perfect compliment for that, because that Supes is OD on point.
Yeah, the Superman.
And
and
I'm
the
very
Black
confident in Ross's Superman, and I hope he has the same confidence too, because
Yeah, I agree.
we've seen him make runs in the tournament before. Like, we've seen him get fourth, we've seen him get third. Like, we know they're capable of getting higher up there. You know what I'm saying? Just putting it together on a consistent pace is where the challenge will be. Apache and Shuro, though, I mean, these guys, they've really been picking it up, and they are not shying away from any challenge at all. So we'll see them a little bit later. And maybe they'll be facing one of these teams, Team State Fair, taking on the world's greatest detective, K7, back in the building. You love to see it. Along with Legendary, let's go.
Yeah, so the two big hitting teams, the usual suspects for seed 1 and 2 are here. Team Vitamin Water and World's Greatest Detective is going to be really fun to watch these two teams fight through the bracket. And Team State Fair, a team kind of middle of the pack currently, and also a team where I feel like they're trying to figure out the character roster just because of Iron Giant being such a unique character, right? So usually we see the Iron Giant and we see Meph on the Velma, right? But now this time on the Harley.
I know it was a while ago, but Team State Fair, they won a week, didn't they?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe they are like former champions for sure. So they've been to the top of the mountain. It's just been a struggle ever since then to get back there, right? All these teams have really just kind of stepped up their game and really made it that much more challenging. And as you said, yeah, it can be a little bit of tough with the Iron Giant on your team for sure. Just a big target that I feel like all these teams are just really good at exploiting and taking advantage of. See him coming through with the authority right now. Trying to dodge. Oh, I like that. K7 not avoiding getting into a little bit of a scuffle, but needs to be careful at 151. Batman might be built like Superman, but he's not as heavy as him.
Oh, and again, back to back, showing off the cape there. Definitely worth it in that situation. Evening things all up here, 2 points apiece and low percents. Looks like the left wall about to crack as well. Getting all set up here. It's red team with all the control here. Trying to come in with the boomerang. He's going to pop the bolt here from Iron Giant. It's a really big deal. Getting that on cooldown is now you can just combo all you want here. And on top of that, just gonna have to avoid all these projectiles. So I think Velma is such a great character against Iron Giant. You have those disjoints on the up attack and the up air as well.
Yeah, she knows it too. I mean, you can see like that is exactly her prime focus has definitely been disrupting and dismantling this Iron Giant. K7 obviously the perfect backup for sure. Much like Batman does IRL, just handling Harley too whenever the situation does call for it.
Okay, here comes the Doom Missiles. Not going to have too much of an impact here. The up attack almost coming through here for Legendary.
That would have definitely gotten the KO right there had it connected, but just a little bit off. So still some hope right now for the red team.
Well, up air again. Not going to clip here right now.
Oh, that's going to do it. Okay, 1 point to go. Batman, can we hold on? Yes, we can. Oh, I like that. Oh my, he baited Harley to come in there and think you got a free punish. No, sir. K7, a different breed. That mallet's still not enough to put away Batman.
You got to be careful with your Meph here. This is, I mean, surely the Iron Giant is going to fall for the last point. So it probably is going to be Meph. And just as I say it, the world's greatest detectives also figuring out that was the answer to victory here, and that's going to put them up 1-0 here in this set.
I feel a little bit of can definitely be a little bit scary too. Again, you know, the points on the board favoring them, but the percentage, of course, could allow for a double KO. But as you pointed out there, they didn't give them an opportunity to make that plan a reality. So kudos to them, world's greatest detectives, getting game one.
Yeah, and we've kind of mentioned that is the weakness of playing some of these assassins, right? When you're kind of getting into that last stretch of the game and you're the teammate with the higher percent, you're the one that has to kind of tank it out and not tank it out, but you're the one that wants to avoid any kind of conflict, right? Because any kind of stray hit could lead into a situation where you just outright lose the point or you get put in a really, really bad spot, right? But a lot of these assassins, they don't have much impact in the back. It's best case scenario for most teams is if your backliner like Velma is the one that is trying to stay away, because at the end of the day, Velma has a lot of full screen impact, right? You got the word bubbles, you have the megaphone, there's a lot of things that you can impact the field with while being very far away, so that's okay. But again, these assassin types, when you're in that final stretch like that and your weight obviously not going to help you, so it kind of activates that even earlier, right? So that's where it can be really, really tough, is when your light assassin character is the one that kind of has to, you know, tank the point at the very end, which is like so hard to do.
Having, just two, really kind of trains of thought there is like, okay, you got to make sure obviously you have the ability to just kind of juke and maneuver really well, good solid control over your character, and two, just a teammate to back you up that you trust, that you know is going to kind of help you then be there in a pinch. And we've seen a lot of those scenarios and situations kind of pan out in multiple weeks throughout multiple brackets of Series E for sure. So, everybody you're seeing, again, one of the reasons I'm loving these static teams is they only get better and better as time goes on, as they compete every single tournament, a chance to elevate the gameplay, the strategies. And you see the execution, man. The consistency is certainly there with those teams who have been clicking a little bit more. And I think you can kind of look at your first 1, 2, or 3 weeks as like anybody can kind of get it, and then that's where it starts to really start to stick after that. And I think it's been consistent in that regard.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even just I think having solidifying your team and being like, okay, we have this curveball combination, maybe this other curveball combination, really solidifying things. Like even there, I mean, we saw the Harley come out instead of the Velma, right, for Team State Farm. So I think that is an adjustment coming out from them. Maybe if they don't want to have like a Velma mirror or anything like that. So having that Harley is someone that can pressure Velma just really quick, really mobile. You have really big hitboxes. So, Harley can definitely still play that mid-range towards the late part of the game. But man, if you mess up, it's going to hurt.
I do appreciate our Team State Farm. Like, they are determined. Like, they're like, look, we've got proof of concept. We've won a week, okay?
Yeah.
They are determined to get that Iron Giant back to winners finals, back to grand finals, and try and take another one with the IG, man. Like I do like Iron Giant. I'm not sure if Iron Giant's built right now. Is this Iron Giant's meta? It doesn't really feel like it, you know?
It doesn't. I mean, when you think about it, if Velma is just a strong character in the meta, which she's been relevant for so long, like I don't think there's a point where Velma has not been relevant in terms of tournament meta, right? Like, and we started seeing tournaments in like closed alpha, open beta. So this character has just always been relevant, and Iron Giant had certain bugs that made him really powerful on release, but eventually those bugs got patched out, and now we kind of see a fall off. I mean, we've seen some success from State Fair, and I do appreciate the character diversity, right? I always love seeing all these different characters. Iron Giant's such a unique character in terms of design, so really sick to see this character out here and still being able to compete at this top level, but not really able to make it, like you said, to that top 3 echelon part of the bracket as of recently. But you know, like you said, had proof of concept. We've seen it in the earlier series or earlier season 1 here of Series E.
Yeah, not impossible for sure, but definitely, like I said, definitely going to prove to continue to be a challenge. But Iron Giant, definitely one thing about him, those hits, they do absolutely matter, and they can stack up and in that case amount to a point. But look at these combinations from K7, just continue to keep it going. And just going to redirect the focus here. But Harley not going to get caught up in a double team situation. Actually does a really good response to K7, trying to take advantage. Iron Giant coming back, a lot of aggression. I mean, that's Iron Giant's calling card, right? A lot of aggression. But Velma just with the answers.
It's so different how Team State Farm is playing this team as well, because usually we see the Velma paired with Iron Giant, a very good pair for Iron Giant. But this time we see Harley paired up, and now Harley kind of playing the front line, and Iron Giant throwing the bolts in the back is actually very impactful, very solid move, right? So I actually kind of like how Team State Farm is switching it up, not only in terms of character, but also the positions that they're playing.
Oh, wow, okay, nice. Can we get a 2? No, okay, not quite there.
Oh, watch the bolt, though.
Oh, wow.
That's enough.
K7, wow, okay. That really impressed me because it surprised the heck out of me. I was not expecting that to be enough to KO. That was grounded too, right? Like,
yeah. Did not expect that. Maybe cross up on the KDI there, but nonetheless, you got to watch it here. Bolts and rushing down. That's the scariest thing when Iron Giant is rushing you down with bolts, because swinging is not an option, right? If there's enough bolts online.
You just got to get the hell out the way.
Yeah, got to get out of the way here. And just like that, instantly returned. Now we got 3 points a pop here. Everyone at fairly low percent, so we'll see how this one plays out. Yep. K7 getting a good amount of damage here on Clueless. Wait a minute. Okay, try to get the down air starter. Not going to happen, and I like this. You see blue team just kind of backing up here, getting the armor set up, getting the batarang set up. The bolts does get popped here. You got to make this count. Goes into the transformation, has the missiles come out, but not too much. Harley does get in, but oh man, I don't know if you wanted to get out.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's actually extremely terrifying. Don't want to get caught up lurking that high. Harley, Iron Giant, both these characters in some danger right now. Pretty minimal percent for Batman. Velma, though, she can do a really good job playing that back line, not have to really engage, just back up K7.
Oh, and there it is, the bolts. Gets popped, and that's going to be it. Yeah, again.
That uppercut, bro.
The cape's too strong.
That's what it does, man. Nicely done. World's greatest detectives get the 2-0, but not without a challenge. Team State Fair definitely holding their own for sure. Not able to come out on top, but definitely appreciate the effort.
Yeah, again, I just want to point out the strategy changes coming out from Team State Fair. They, changed the character, but they also changed the position. Usually you see the Iron Giant playing the front line, tanking the damage, if you will, but kind of seeing a different style of a Iron Giant team. So saw Harley playing more of the front line and Iron Giant coming in as the backup, either throwing bolts or just coming in with really big hitboxes after a certain scramble. And I like the strategy. I like how they're trying different avenues to try and make this Iron Giant work. It's very clear that they want to make this Iron Giant work. So trying out different combinations of characters and different playstyles, and really trying to figure out when and where this character can thrive. I mean, this team has just got to be, so up there when it comes to knowledge of Iron Giant and how to enable this character in many different ways. Because the easy answer is obviously Velma. This is like a very flexible character that can enable a lot of characters, especially big and bulky ones. But I like that they're trying different avenues, trying to enable Iron Giant in different ways, shapes, and forms.
You have to. I mean, you know, sometimes the easiest answer is the one that people already know, right? They're already expecting it. They're already game plan for it. So it doesn't always quite work out how you might plan. So I think it is very, very smart for them to always kind of be, you know, retooling a little bit, seeing who they, as you said, who they compare best with Iron Giant. And again, you know, coming close, just, you know, just struggling again to just get over that hump. I mean, I know they're right there consistent. I know they're not going to give up anytime soon. But yeah, it's definitely it's been a little bit of a struggle for Team State Farm to really get back in that consistent winner circle. So best of luck to them on the loser side of things. And yeah, I think that's a good segue to throw to our man Yeso, who's standing by. In case you guys are just jumping in here, I'm sure he'll have a nice recap for you.
3 matches done, almost closing out winners round 1 here so far, and a few good sets, and the Series E partners having their ups and downs. Vitamin Water get the early win. Not a big surprise. They continue to be really good out of the gate here in Series E over the last month or so with another 2-0 win. But then we get back-to-back sets with Aegon by AOC falling, as well as State Fair, and it's not going to get better because now our next set, the final one in winners round 1, is Team Mike and Ike up against the defending champions. It's Moonlit Knights, who are looking really strong. Again, we mentioned at the top of the show how they have only finished in the top 3 in their 2 invites here to Series E. 3rd place in their first week, the win last week. They've got a ton of momentum. They looked really, really impressive last week as well, with some solid victories, especially deep in the bracket. So that is not going to be an easy set. Ramss and Martoons can do it, right? I am, in my opinion, where I have them is the second best of the Series E squads right now in terms of just power ranking those 4. But this is a tough matchup to kick off the bracket with, and they're going to have their work cut out for them in this one. I think they can push it to a 3rd game, but it's anybody's guess what happens there, and I think Moonlit Knights are going to be really good at closing out these sets, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that. But certainly rooting for Mike and Ike. Have to see if they can earn that matchup with K7 and Legendary in winners round 2. Of course, those matchups set right now. Vitamin Water up against Apache and Shiro, who took down Aegon by AOC in a tight set. That one going the full 3 games, but Apache and Shiro keeping things alive, and they'll have that tough matchup against Team Vitamin Water that they have not been able to get through as of late. Apache and Shiro, very talented duo, one of the most consistent invites here to Series E outside of our partnered squads, and they've been struggling to get over that hurdle in winners round 2 and 3 as of late, and it's not going to get any easier there with the matchup with Vitamin Water, especially with Mirrorman back in the fold here today. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Do have a quick update for you on how things are shaking out on the loser side of the bracket. Of course, Dante and Luck fell to Vitamin Water in their winners round 1 set, but they take the win down on the loser side of the bracket. They were matched up with Aegon by AOC, and they responded with a 2-0 of their own, knocking Aegon by AOC out today with the 0-2 finish. So Dante and Luck keeping things alive, and they will face the winner of World's Greatest Detectives up against the winner of Moonlit Knights and Mike and Ike. So a couple of sets to go before they know who their next opponent will be, but at the very least, they've got that win under their belt. They've passed through that losers round 1. They'll try and make that deep run on the bottom side of the bracket. We'll see if they can get things rolling over there. And of course, State Fair waiting for the result of that Moonlit Knights and Mike and Ike set. That's where we stand right now, and plenty more matches to come. We're going to head back over next door. Charles and EE ready to get back into the fun.
Well, thank you so much, Yeso. We do appreciate that breakdown. So good to see everybody still hanging in there. Losers progressing as we would expect. Apparently, one more winners round 1 for you guys to enjoy before we get a chance to head into semis and really kind of get more into the meat of this bracket. But been moving along really solidly so far, Charles.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get deeper and deeper into the winners side, winners round 2. I'm really excited to see that. And again, we have seeds 1 and 2 back in this for this week. So World's Greatest Detectives and Team Vitamin Water. So we'll see if any team will be able to take them down so far in winners round 1. The answer is no. These 2 teams showing the most consistency, and especially Team Vitamin Water again on that, was 4-win win streak, but going for the 5-win streak here with the roster of Mirrorman and Costlix. So
they back at it.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Man, you just wanted your man's back for sure. Well, he's back. It looks like they are in attack mode, but as we said, we still got one more winners round 1 before we can jump into semi. So we'll go ahead and knock that out for you guys momentarily. Hope you're enjoying the action, spending your Friday with us here. Always fun to be able to come out and do this in studio. I know, like in the beginning, we did like a couple MultiVersus tournaments online at home, which was cool. You know what I'm saying? I'd say the only real difference is you gotta put on some pants when you come to the studio, you know?
Yeah, very
You're just
true.
sitting at home just chilling, you know, I'm just lounging. I'm feeling good about myself, you know what I'm saying? But maybe not as good as these guys, Moonlit Knight. They are coming off a huge showing last week, and courtesy of that was who, Charles? The Rain Dog, a big part of exactly what they were able to do. Broski and Oops Tier, absolute savages. Let's see what they've got right here. Team Mike and Ike not gonna be an easy out for anybody.
Of course, Broski running the best Velma skin. I love the wizard hat.
I know you're a big fan of that. Oh, what a save right there. Holy cannoli.
Yeah, and this team right here, we got Morty and Arya here. So this is going to be a little on the lighter side, but Morty, a backliner that a lot of players think is very strong, right? But we still kind of see Velma at least dominating this tournament series in Season 1 as the backliner, right?
I think it's more, yeah, for sure, because Morty's a very good character, but I just think the learning curve is way easier with Velma, right? You know, obviously it's a little easier with Velma.
All the players had more time with Velma.
Exactly, bro. Like the results are there. You know what you're getting when you pick this character, and a lot of times it tends to be a W, as Moonlit Knights are certainly looking to accomplish right there. They've got 1 point on the board, working on perhaps another one. Morty getting absolutely ping-ponged all over the place and then sent all the way out. So that's going to be a point, another point, excuse me, for this blue team who is absolutely rampaging through Mike and Ike.
Yeah, Broski just setting up so many down air combos. Usually you see Velma kind of backing up in a lot of these situations, but Broski getting a little bit aggressive here with some of these down air combos, and it is paying off right now. So much aggression, so much damage being done here, and also the up airs and up attacks has been very on point coming out from Broski.
Yeah, 100%. You know, and obviously kind of picking up where they left off last week. Really good start to this one for sure. Look at that big old head. I'm sorry, when Rain Dog has got that buff and his head is that big, just get the heck out the way, bro. That's just terrifying in and of itself. The thing of nightmares right now, and a total disaster unfolding. Red team really unable to get anything going and getting absolutely filleted right there. Rain Dog and Velma taking no prisoners.
Yeah. Moonlit Knight coming in with the skin drip right now. Look at this. The Rain Dog, the Velma looking very clean out here.
Those are the sweat skins.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say it. Those are the sweat skins.
Team Mike and I are going to have to find some answers, and they're going to need it quick because it is best of 3 until we get into that top 4 territory. So these sets can be really quick, and just that one game can be enough momentum to just carry you right into the 2-0. I think we might have had like 1 game 3 so far, but for the most part, mostly 2-0s.
Yeah, we've had it was our second round. We had a game 3. Until other than that, it's definitely been 2-0s, and it looks like this one could be a sign of things to come again. Because I mean, look, obviously not trying to count anybody out, but that's a rough one to overcome. Like that kind of, you know, it really just kind of comes down to the chemistry of the Moonlit Knights. Like they are just so in sync with each other. And you got 2 support characters in Velma and Rain Dog, and they don't play it like that. They just boom, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of press you and body so many people. Like you would expect that to be like, you would expect those to be more, kind of nail biters, close calls, but no, they're just winning convincingly.
Oh yeah, both Velma and Rain Dog very aggressive, especially in that game as well. Just rushing down, getting a bunch of damage, getting their big openers right. Most characters in the game, one of your big combo starters is going to be a down air, right? A little bit slower move for some, a little bit, or it's like either slower active or quick and not so active. But regardless, just getting these really big combo starters, getting a lot of damage out of it. And I think for Moonlit Knights, the one thing that they're probably the most excited about this week is they're off of a big win last week, right? But the world's greatest detectives weren't there, and Team Vitamin Water not at full strength. So I think for the Moonlit Knights, it's like, all right, well, we want to show that we can also get the W when the usual seed 1 and 2s are here. So really excited to see how the Moonlit Knights are going to do in the rest of this bracket. Not necessarily counting Team Mike and Ike out just yet, but they're going to have to make some very large adjustments here to bring this set into a game 3.
Yeah, definitely going to take a lot for sure. So maybe some debating exactly on if they, what stage we want to go to, what characters do we want to switch with. Let's see what they elect to do. Okay, Trophy's Edge and Black Adam making an appearance along with Bugz. Okay, so we are definitely switching things up a little bit.
Got the rock skin too, let's go.
There it is, and that is the rock skin. Can't confirm. Might have missed it last week by accident, but definitely see that is my man Dwayne right there on screen. But let's see if you'll have and impact. I mean, definitely this team getting rocked last game, so trying to avoid having that happen again, switching things up. Obviously on the side of the Moonlit Knights, no reason to change up a thing.
Yeah, Martoon's making it very clear. Got the backline roster, right? The Morty, the Black Adam. We've seen Black Adam from a good amount of players, honestly.
Yeah.
Martoons is one of them. And not the most popular backline character, but a character we have seen here and there. And oh, just like that, I'm getting KO'd at around 100% for Black Adam. Usually way more bulkier, so that's actually a really, really early KO here for the blue team.
Because we've seen Black Adam have some success, right? You know, some varying success throughout different brackets in the Series E realm. But yeah, I mean, just getting KO'd into oblivion right off the start, not what you're looking for. And really, Charles, it seems like we could be seeing a little, you know, different characters, but a little deja vu in how this one is actually panning out as just a dominating performance from the blue team already within the first minute of this match. Okay, nice. Good catch right there. Maybe an opportunity to take care of Velma. Let's see. Do we capitalize? No, we do not.
Yeah, right there. I believe Oops here using neutral B. Just gonna yank.
Yep, good save.
Broski right back to the stage here. Okay, great. KDI coming out here from Martoons. Gonna stay alive on this Black Adam. Very important. Trying to get this Sair set up here. Chasing down with the up air. Nice. Yeah, gonna get the KO. Martoons hunting it down.
Yeah, much needed KO right there. Martoons credits for not giving up on the chase. Let's see, Black Adam super in danger right here. 146, my goodness, and Bugz not that much better either. 110, okay, there's one, and that's gonna be two. Line it up, send them out. Your missile will come back, but you will not be accompanying.
And just like that, Moonlit Knights making it look easy here in this winners round.
I mean, making it look easy, that was easy. I'm just gonna say it, bro. Team Mike and Ike, y'all got 8 up.
Yeah, I mean,
sponsor.
It was looking a little bit better. That was the early KO on Black Adam, so it still looked a little rough. But then, again, you know, Moonlit Knights just so explosive in so many different scenarios, right?
Crazy,
and just lining up the KOs back to back there to end it up. And also, not only those last 2 KOs, but the game count as well, right? Back to back game count, 2-0, just moving right along through winners round 2.
You look at those teams, those 4 teams who just advanced through winners round 1, and I'm just thinking like any one of these guys could take it. Like that's what makes it so good.
Yep.
So like the action that we're gonna get into semis, and I don't think we're taking a break before semis, and we're gonna get right into both semis matches. It's going to be insanity. So you've got to appreciate that, and especially that's how we end winners round 1 with just a beatdown like that. Oh yeah, that's a that's a good taste for them going into things.
Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting. I mean, just seeing Moonlit Knights run last week was just really fun to watch.
Incredible.
We saw the Rain Dog come out, right? They did an incredible job, but, you know, again, Team Vitamin Water, not at full strength. World's Greatest Detectives, absent, right? So now we really get to see the tippy-top talent here for Season 1 flash up with the Moonlit Knights. And, I mean, it raises a big question. Is the Superman coming out? Is the Rain Dog coming out? This is where it gets a little bit harder when you try to spread that character diversity because, like, okay, well, you know, which team comps do we go the Rain Dog? Which team comps do we go the Superman? Right? Broski obviously always going to hold it down with the Velma and enable whichever character Oops here picks, but it can still be hard just to decide, right?
And just to throw onto that too. I mean, those 3 teams obviously, like, a lot of question marks, a lot of questions going to be answered today for sure. Then Apache and Shuro in the mix as well, and that's a team that you can just never count out, right? Like they're always going to bring something to the table, especially when they can play a variety of characters themselves. So really, this might be my favorite winner semi that I've ever seen in Series E for MultiVersus right now. I think all these teams are just elite, top of the crop, and I think it's going to be an absolute dogfight to see who's going to make it into winners finals and eventually grand. So give me some winners semis. Let's keep it cooking. Do you have a favorite, Chuck?
This is tough.
It is tough. Don't get it twisted.
This is tough. I am a fan of every single one of these teams coming up into the semis. Who do I want to see? Like, if I had to pick one team that I at least want to see in winners finals, and it's going to be Moonlit Knights. I want to see Moonlit Knights in winners finals. They had an incredible run last week, really showing off the character diversity, right? And I feel like they are starting to get a lot of momentum as a team. They've been a team for quite a while, and the synergy is really coming too.
We're on the same page. I think Moonlit Knights is definitely the team to beat right now. Obviously, that's no disrespect to the other teams, especially Kostelix and Mirrorman. I think they understand, though, like they are chomping at the bit to get that, you know what I'm saying, to get to that winners finals and probably see them, because I think they're on the other side of the bracket for sure. But neither one of their opponents is going to make it easy. You know what I'm saying? Apache and Shiro, world's greatest detectives, who they're champions as well. They've definitely, you know, they've tasted victory on this stage as well. They know what it takes to get there as well. So there really are no teams you can overlook. You know, all you can kind of do is just trying to plan out, you know, what you think the most likely scenario is, and just when you think it's going to go that way, change at the drop of a hat, baby.
Yeah.
Points, misleading.
Yeah, and I think Apache and Shiro is another team that they're still trying to solidify their character rosters, right? So I am a really big fan of the Stripe Fin. I think it's a double rushdown team or just double frontline team that has a lot of perks.
Yeah.
And they really make it work. Very large hitboxes, really great air mobility. The combination makes a lot of sense to me, and they just play it really well. So I really want to see that for the opener, but we'll see. They've gone so many different characters, so it's really hard to say.
I was gonna say, like you say, like they're trying to solidify the. I would argue like I think they just like playing multiple, like different characters. I think they just like having the ability to rotate through like, you know, 1, 2, or 3 characters and always keep the opponent guessing. You know what I'm saying? I don't see this as a team that's ever going to be like, okay, we're playing, you know, X and Y. That's it, right? They're always going to be comfortable bringing something to the table. And right now, comfortable enough to bring back the Bugz and Batman.
And we saw this earlier.
Yes, we did. We did see this. Obviously, they weren't shy away from changing up to when they needed to. The Fin and Stripe have made an appearance as well to help them out in a crucial game number 3 for sure. Right now, Team Vitamin Water, as you said, Charles, at full strength and looking to make a run into winners finals. Let's see if they can get there. Tall task ahead.
Yeah, so the winner semis will still be best of 3 as well. Again, we don't get into the best of 5 until that top 4 territory.
Yes,
so
sir.
Still going to be a lot on the line here and not a lot of games to work with comparatively to the best of 5 series here. So both teams kind of feeling each other out here, but it is Apache and Shiro that has taken a bit of damage and has also gotten KO'd by the safe there.
Yeah, you gotta pay a little bit more attention to that, right? And it's easy to kind of like, it comes at you a little bit slow comparatively some other things, but yeah, that's definitely something you cannot afford to overlook. Nice combination from Velma. House looks definitely cooking right now. Ooh. Yeah, watch, I was gonna say just dodge away, try and get away from that Acme rocket, always looming.
Oh, and the trade on that, and look at this, just pure domination coming out from Team Vitamin Water. Also, I just really want to point out Team Vitamin Water trading the Bugz cooldowns very efficiently. So just either shutting down the opponent rocket with your safe or anything like that that's already been used up. That kind of management for resources. But out of the rabbit hole is Apache with that up rocket finally going to get a KO on the board here.
You ever notice that whenever there is another Bugz on the screen, it feels like Mirrorman turns it up just a little bit more, like almost always trying to get that statement win, if you will, right? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I've definitely noticed that a little bit. They're playing pretty hot right now in a pretty good position. If they can take care of that Batman. Trying to put some distance between them. Okay. Ooh, wow, the downer actually going to be enough to take care of business.
Okay, going to ride the Acme rocket, drop the safe as well. Apache getting back safely onto stage, and as also getting the KO is Apache. Going to get the ear twirl right into the up air there, batter up. 3 points apiece here, and just like that, yeah.
Stole it. They were both kind of hovering up there, and then just Mirrorman just a tad bit quicker on the draw to secure the KO. Great first game, though, between those two. Told you it would not be an easy route. But much like we saw when they did end up dropping the game with the Batman, with the Bugz, I got a feeling, Stripe and Fin, they might be up next.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think that game was actually fairly close.
It was.
They had, it just felt like Team Vitamin Water had a slight lead the entire time.
Yeah.
And kind of held that slight lead, didn't let it slip, and was able to seal it out. Was Mirrorman at the end there. But once it hit 3 points a pop, I was like, okay, like you're down a little bit, but Apache and Shiro could definitely make this happen. So I don't know, it sucks when a game is that close, right?
Yep.
It's really easy to switch when you get bodied, right? That's just the truth of it. But when you have a close game, it's like, oh man, we could just make these slight adjustments. Do we go with the team? And this is where having that wide character variety can be so tough, because you kind of just have so many options. You have so many choices, right? So it can be a little tough to make sure you pick the right one. And then after the set, if you win or lose, it's kind of like, oh wow, did I make the right choice? Like, should I have done this? There's so many different ways to think about it.
Definitely, man. But a good game, number one for sure. Yeah, I guess now I think about it, yeah, I mean, considering it was a close game for sure, it's not a guarantee that they're going to switch off. That's a very good point for sure. I mean, clearly they are trying to invest some time into this Bugs Bunny Batman combination, which I think can be very potent and effective as well too. I guess I'm just such a fanboy for that Finn and that Stripe, man. Like I
definitely want to see
the way they just attack people, just W key the whole time. I really appreciate that and love that for sure. But you know what? It'll be interesting to see what they elect to do because they are one of the teams I feel like that has one of the better character pools for sure. So that versatility is always going to be on their side.
Yeah, and I think against a team like Vitamin Water, I can see going Stripe Finn might not seem like a great idea. I think Vitamin Water is very good at controlling the pace. And I also think they're the best team at not getting overwhelmed. Yeah, so maybe that's the thought process behind it. I'm not too sure, but we'll see what the character picks are here for this game number 2. We could see the Finn. We could see the Stripe come out, right? Just doubling down, the double front line, double down. Apache and Shiro very known for this and have honestly done it with other character combinations as well, not even just with the Stripe and the Finn. We've definitely seen, multitudes of double assassins coming out from this team. So definitely a play style they're very down to do.
Oh, 100%. That's definitely not something they're going to shy away from at all. Well, let's see exactly what we are going to get. It's going to be, they're sticking. Okay, so they were like, you know what? Close game, close enough where we think if we just switch it up a little bit, we can definitely get the W. Let's see if that'll be the case. They got one game to keep those winners' hopes alive. If they lose here, they're going down to losers bracket.
Yeah, and I mean, getting this close to winners finals. The thing about semis, though, especially in Series E, we don't have the largest bracket, but it is very, very top heavy. So, I mean, right out the gate.
It's like invitational style. Like everybody you know is good.
Right out the gate, winners round 1, you're fighting really hard opponents, and it just scales up even higher and higher when it gets to semis and winners finals. So finding yourself here, winners semis, you're going to have to beat a team that could win the tournament. That's usually what it comes down to.
Absolutely, yeah. And we kind of looked at, we previewed these semis before we even got into it, and we knew any of these teams in here are capable of doing just that. I think it's only Apache and Shuro who don't have a victory. Have a Series E victory for sure. And you never know. Today could be their day. Obviously going to need to pick it up a little bit more right here. They lose that first point.
Yeah, losing that first point and already Shuro at 80% on the Batman. You got to be really careful. You got to have that K7 movement, if you will. K7, incredible movement, able to really make these. Really making it hard to KO Batman, right? Batman on paper easier to KO because of the weight, but has so many movement options. Have the glide, you just have the DC dash or the air dash, right? Like it's just so good. The dodges are also just really good coming out from Batman here. So gonna be even though, 1 point a pop here. Bugz and Batman trying to stay alive.
Oh, nice catch from Kostelix. I like that a lot. That was a perfectly timed up air.
Ooh, but returning the favor is going to be Shiro. 2 points a pop. This is a very, very even game. That last game I was talking about where Vitamin Water kind of felt like had a slight lead. Yeah. Very different in a sense. It just feels even now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, just, getting caught by the Acme Rocket. Gonna take a good bit of damage, but not gonna give up a point. Yeah, I'm definitely liking this. I mean, it's just so much back and forth right now. Oh, nicely done. Where's the ground? You're not gonna know about it. Couple seconds removed. Can they capitalize though? Hold on, they went off stage. Maybe got a little too greedy there.
Yeah, they went for the 2v1, but he kind of mis-executed a little bit. Almost got reversal, but ends up back on stage here. Kicks the rocket. It's huge here.
This is definitely going to be one that goes down to the wire for sure. Let's see. Blue team trying to pull one out of their hat, looking for an up air. No, not quite there. Batman doing a good job being evasive. So smooth with it. Dodging and still finding a way to get that offense cooking. Up air's not connecting. And believe me, Mirrorman is swinging and trying to do his best finally.
Oh no,
the rocket. Oh, it was the rocket, bro. It's always the rocket, bro.
And the thing, Team Vitamin Water, that's the crazy thing. Even if they don't have the lead, this team is so clutch in so many situations. You see immediately, they get one KO and they just go for the 2v1. They set up the up rocket. And how does this team hit so many up rockets compared? And there's a lot of other teams and a lot of other players that play Bugz. But Mirrorman up rockets just hit different, and I think it's like a team effort as well, right? The way that Kostelix positions himself to Mirrorman as well to kind of funnel and force you to go into these really bad scenarios and fight Rocket is just so tough.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, obviously the team scenario is there, but also how about resource management too? Because you'll notice, like, anytime he needs the Rocket, it's available to him. Like, he doesn't spam it out. It's the same way like any of those tools in his kit. He doesn't spam them out. He's not on like those cooldowns in pivotal moments where it's like, oh, I need to recover it here, or I need to convert this into a KO opportunity.
Right.
Like, he always has the resource available to him, man. That's something that I feel like really separates him from some of these other great Bugz that we do see. And there are a lot of great Bugz. There can really be one best Bugz, and I think Mirrorman solidly holds that title for sure. So kudos to him, and Koslex again just being the perfect complement with that Velma. You know, you can't really go wrong. Good effort, no doubt about that, from Apache and Shuro, but if they want to get their first Series E win, gonna have to work a little bit harder because they just got sent to losers.
Yeah, and that's going to be a rough one. But Team Vitamin Water is going to emerge victorious. In terms of seeding, it's kind of what we expected, and in a 2-0 fashion as well. I thought we were definitely going to see a Game 3. Apache and Shiro were definitely heating up, but again, this team just so clutch in so many situations, and it's not the first time, and we've seen them clutch out even harder scenarios. So again, shout outs to Team Vitamin Water, always being that, you know, force of consistency the past, what, like 6 weeks now. Just really always just in that final, or always in grand finals, you know, even with, you know, some roster changes, like temporary roster changes, but now they're back at full power. And I think they're letting everyone know the champs are back, you know, for Series E.
Yeah, you don't just win 4 in a row by accident. I'll say that much. You know what I'm saying? At some point, something really clicked for them, and they have not taken their foot off the gas since they have been engaged and had the ability to team. As we said, luck filling in last week, so they fell to 2nd place. But with the true team back, it is definitely looking like they are trying to take back the crown. They take another step towards that because they've guaranteed themselves a spot in winners finals, which of course will be best of 5. And of course, their opponents will get an opportunity to decide coming up next. The world's greatest detectives and the Moonlit Knights.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a set. Yeah.
That's going to be OD. Don't go anywhere, okay? We're not going to break or nothing like that. We're going to get right into it momentarily. That's going to be insane. And it's just, it's so, you know, a tournament's good when you're just looking at your winner semis at this, on the same scope as like your winners finals, your grand finals, because you just understand how talented these teams are and who, you know, anybody has an opportunity at it for sure. So right now, the last 3 teams that are on the winner's side are all former champions of bracket, so it's a good look.
Yeah, and shout outs to Apache and Shuro. I do believe that team has the potential to get up there. I feel like they always get into the scenario where it's like, oh dang, we're challenging like seed 1, seed 2, right? And the only way for that team to really get a breakthrough is their next breakthrough is essentially winning a tournament. Right? Because we see them consistently in the top 4, the top 3. Even if they get knocked down to losers early, they usually emerge at least to that loser semis, right? So a very consistent team, but still has not been able to get that big W, that first place W. Really see what they can do in the loser side of things. So
I think you know, Apache and Shuro, at some point they're gonna get one. I think they're too good and they're too stubborn not to eventually pull one off. It might not be today, but obviously they're still in the tournament. They're on the loser side. They're gonna figure out a way to get one eventually. But again, as we said, the last 3 teams in winners bracket, they've all figured out how to do it. Some more than others. You know what I'm saying? But a win's a win, a title's a title, and that's a good feeling. So that's why you know it's going to be crazy. Again, world's greatest detectives, Moonlit Knights. Looks like they're ready to jump into it. Let's see who's going to winners finals. I honestly, even though it seems like the Moonlit Knights, probably a little bit more favored, you know, and that's basically, you know, off of what we saw last week for sure. Them getting the W, and you do kind of keep in mind that the world's greatest detectives were absent from that bracket, so no disrespect to them, but yeah, I mean, just coming in, I still say with the hot hand, and this Rain Dog Velma combination is just taking these brackets by storm and really just maybe throwing a lot of people through a loop.
Oh yeah, and I like the opener with the Rain Dog. It's like, okay, well, let's give the Rain Dog check, right? Does your team understand and know how to fight against this character, especially on this level?
Were you playing closed beta?
Right.
All right. I got some questions for you.
All right, but right now it looks like red team pretty even in terms of percent, but it looks like K7 bleeding just a tad bit more. And are you? Yep.
For a minute, I thought it was good, but no. Okay. All right, so now they got the lead right now, so putting some distance between them. Man, these two, their projectiles can be so frustrating to deal with. Again, Two backline characters that they do such a good job functioning as frontline. Aggression always there. Nice. Trying to bait out K7. Oh, and I think
again?
they did just that. Wow, don't say that too often, but yes, K7 got caught slipping.
Oh, trying to hunt down Oops here, but Oops here having a little bit more weight, but doesn't matter. The downer connects off stage and the Rain Dog finally falls.
Oh, it was much needed, man. Had to stop that bleeding somehow. Points all evened up right now, but only momentarily. You see Red Team, they have surged into the lead. Percentage on their side, points on their side, looking really good in this first game.
And the School Me Once is going to be so good on World's Greatest Detectives in terms of perks. I mean, both these characters obviously very strong and powerful full screen projectiles, so going to have, I mean, that's just going to cover a lot here. And look at this, I mean, just playing far left side, far right side. When Rain Dog has that laser connected to his teammate, if the opponents are, you know, on top of the laser, they do take damage. So it is a little passive tick damage.
Every little percentage does, you know, add up and matter a lot. Oh, I love that good support from Rain Dog, helping Velma. That's where Velma can struggle sometimes on that recovery. So just being fully aware of that, and they're going to put that one away. Convincing win for the Moonlit Knights again, lighting it up and taking game number 1.
Yep, well, the World's Greatest Detectives got another case here, and it's going to be Rain Dog. They got to figure out how to beat the green dog with the hat.
I mean, they say Batman with prep time is undefeated, but he had some time before we got into this, and it was a rough one. So I don't know how long we're going to take between games 1 and 2 for them to maybe trying to figure something else out, but I guess we will see, because this Moonlit Knights team, they are no accidental success. These guys are legit bona fide superstars. Yeah,
and I think the Rain Dog is like this crazy curveball, even for these, you know, really experienced teams. A consistent Seed 1 and Seed 2 team being World's Greatest Detectives. We've seen this team really dissect the game. Their team play is, their team fundamentals just through the roof here, but just not having an answer here for the Rain Dog, because even when Rain Dog sets up the flame, like while it's falling down or on the ground, it empowers his projectiles that pass through, but it also empowers his teammates' projectiles as well. So when the Moonlit Knights, one thing that I think World's Greatest Detectives, one of their biggest strengths, is they're able to reset scenarios and slow the pacing down in certain spots where it's like, okay, you're cooking too much, right? Or like, you know, this neutral interaction doesn't feel as safe. Let's just back up, get armor, set up certain things. But if you do that versus Moonlit Knights, especially on the Rain Dog, that could be more punishing to you.
I agree.
Right? In scenarios where it's like, okay, we're going to back up, and then it's like, oh, do we really want to back up? Do we really want to relieve the pressure on this Rain Dog Velma team? Because when they set up shop, it hurts a lot more than when we set up shop, right?
That is facts, bro. You feel those hits. Like, they can be game-changing for sure. So, absolutely agree with you on that. So, we'll see, I mean, exactly, you know, how they elect to approach game number 2. Again, just kind of taking their time with it. You know, there is a reason that this team has enjoyed a lot of success. You know, their ability to adapt on the fly too, going to be something that's going to be crucial. So, despite a convincing win for Moonlit Knights, I don't think it dictates how the set necessarily will go, because I think they're going to have a good, strong return for game number 2.
Yeah, I definitely want to see a game 3. Both these teams just so high up on my personal like tier list of best teams right now in MultiVersus. This Series E has really been able to show off all the best teams, right, 100%. For season 1. I mean, just very consistent as well. No, it doesn't feel like, oh, just like this one-off tournament or two-off tournament or whatnot, right? We're getting consistent gameplay every week. That's what we need. The top teams, and we're really starting to see them grow and adapt to. I think this is just fantastic experience for them. And, you know, what they're fighting for is amazing, right? Shout out to Series E, really just giving so many different gaming communities an opportunity.
Much needed and much appreciated, to say the least. And, you know, obviously with that comes, and that, it really just comes a lot of entertainment for the community themselves, because, you know, great matches like this, you know, not always the easiest to come by, but, you know, you get a good tournament bracket, you know, good prize pool, good incentives too with the point system, the sponsors. It's going to make people fight a little bit harder, and that's why you get treated to such a good slew of matches. So, Eager to see this game number 2. Look, they're giving Batman some prep time right now, Chuck. They're letting him think. I don't know if I want to do all that. I don't know if I want to do all that. I might call Tom. Like, let's go.
He's getting the Google Sheets out. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Busting out the frame data. Like, what's going on over here?
I imagine he's actually just sitting there reviewing the previous match. Like, okay, so this. Oh, okay. So he caught me here. He baited out my air dodge here. Got it. Okay.
I will say, for Batman specifically, I don't main Batman anymore, but I've dabbled a good amount with the character. It can be pretty frustrating as Batman to find your way in against projectile characters when they just pump out more projectiles than you, because usually Batman can willy-nilly just like, okay, let me just have the fly out the battering, approach with the battering, right? But if a battering hits another projectile, then it just gets deleted, right?
That's
so
fair.
if your opponent could just fling out a bunch of projectiles, you have to be very, very careful how you battering, and that could be one of the things that are, you know, kind of holding K7 back, right? Maybe has to use the battering way less because there's so much projectiles on the screen, and that's going to change a lot how Batman's going to play. Because if you can't come in with the battering, your approaches are way, like, they're just not as strong.
You can neutralize the batarang. You're just basically taking off his. I mean, you're taking out his best move, right? Like, you're literally putting this character in a situation where it's like, okay, well, like you said, I have to approach this a lot differently. And in the time that you're trying to figure that out, that is when your opponents on the other side are just like, oh, we can just do the same thing. Like, we're just gonna overwhelm you, and then we have a strong combo game as well. And then talk about their ability to just, like, we saw a couple of good clutch saves from Rain Dog as well too. Just another layer that really just helps make this team as impactful as they are.
Yeah, and there's a lot of situations too where Oopster won't necessarily wait for Broski to necessarily get hit into the blast zone. Just, oh, you know, my Velma is in a really bad position. Like, okay, yoink, cross stage, just because you mentioned earlier, Velma's so vulnerable off stage. So you saw Broski would kind of stall off stage for a little bit and be like, all right, anytime, like, pull me in. I'm stalling, you know, I'm doing up these off stage. But you can tell that the communication's there, because the way Broski will go ahead and do some certain, like, recovery patterns, it's like, okay, you're clearly not trying to actually recover or go to the wall. You're stalling just so Oopster can go ahead and pull you in. So fantastic communication. And, you know, this is the big thing that made MultiVersus different, right? In terms of, you know, from other platform fighters when it was first released, was the team play and characters having moves specifically made around team play, right? Like Rain Dog being able to yoink your teammate in and stuff like that. Like, that's all very specific to doubles, and you don't really get to see those moves utilized as much in singles, right?
No, I mean, you know, in singles is cool too, but, you know, that's the main thing I say is, like, the game is you know, based around doubles and doubles fundamentals. You know, why not? You know, that's what we want to kind of play to, right? That's why I'm glad Series E does do the doubles format, because I think it shows off the game in the light that it's meant to be seen. You know, the preferred way. Again, singles is awesome for sure, but I don't know, something about doubles in this game, definitely something I certainly appreciate, and I'm going to appreciate this game number 2 because we're finally getting into it. See if all that prep time was going to be enough. World's Greatest Detectives looking to bounce back as Moonlit Knights dispatched them pretty handily in that first game. Again, the Rain Dog has continued to be a menace for anyone whose path he's crossed with it. Oh my goodness!
Oh, the trade. Wait
I
a
like
minute.
that. Yes, I like that a lot actually, but it still results in 2 points there, going the way of K7 and Legendary. Much needed right there.
Oh, the charge, the double, and do you get back? K7 does get back onto the stage there. Amazing edge guard situation earlier coming out from the World's Greatest Detectives. K7 just knew that, you know what, I'm going to go deep for this edge guard, and I have my teammate. I have my teammate, and Legendary was able to get both, and just such a great trade in the beginning. Now the points are even up, but man, I mean, just think if they didn't get that double, and just like that, they are getting so aggressive off stage, and it is really showing 3 points to 2. What an incredibly fast game number 2.
I'm loving the fact that the aggression is really serving them well, right? They are not at all shying away from the challenge, really just bringing the fight to Oopster and Broski. But just like that, you know, they're bringing the fight, but they're not too far ahead, right? Where you're thinking, okay, this is all but written, all but finished. Oh, don't play around up there. Okay, smart. K7 getting right back to the stage. Velma really taking a lot of damage on the red side of things.
Yep,
okay,
he's
nice
gonna pull back to safety, but look at the hit, the
matter.
snipe. Oh no, you're both in a really bad spot. Doesn't get connected here, and yeah, eventually something will give. Very well played coming out from the World's Greatest Detectives. They just set up the 2v2 edge guard situation so well, and they were able to trade out incredibly well.
Insane response, and just a very quick victory. I mean, I don't even think that was 2 minutes that they were playing right there. I mean, goodness, our intermission was longer than that between them and the state. Like, good grief. Gotta say, I was not expecting that, but you know, at the same time, again, it's a battle-tested team. They've been down before and they've pulled back comebacks. No reason to think they can't do it, even against a team that's looking as hot as the Moonlit Knights. Getting cooled off a little bit there as we prep for this game number 3. Anybody's guess who's going to be in winners finals against Team Vitamin Water, but either way you look at it, it's going to be a treat.
Yeah, and I wonder if the S on the chest comes out here for this game number 3. There's another character that can edge guard very efficiently at earlier percents.
And live for a while.
Definitely going to be that Superman. But I just feel like the Rain Dog was so effective game 1. It feels pretty, almost like a waste to switch off of it. It is a risk because you have no data on it, right? Especially against this team here. So we'll see if the switch comes out. But I feel like the Rain Dog is going to stay 2. I want the Superman to come out though.
I almost feel like there's no lack of confidence with the Superman. I think they're just kind of like picking up where they left off last week, and that was obviously Rain Dog going on the terror. So maybe if you kind of think like, okay, they've kind of maybe figured out a little bit of a scheme for this particular combination, at least for that last game may lead you to believe, yeah, what's wrong with sneaking into Superman right there? You know he's gonna live. You know he has the ability to KO very quickly. I don't know. Yeah, he still hits all the check marks as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and that game 2 is so hard to get data off of because it's essentially like, oh, well, they like read us off stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that can happen to anybody.
That can happen. Like, you just get one dodge read off stage that's 30% going to be a KO, what have you. That's a very common thing in MultiVersus. When you can get really crazy hard reads off stage, you get a ton of value and a ton of return. And it's how you trade out. I think the most impressive thing for World's Greatest Detectives is their positioning. And I always talk about this especially when it comes to this team fundamentals, like knowing how someone can be aggressive and having the trust in your teammate to get the trade back. Even if I go ahead and the opponent KOs me, I know my teammate's going to get me back.
I like that, and I think I like the fact that they, kind of realize, okay, well, we get stage right now, so we can stay the same team comp, understanding we're going to get plenty of space to work with here, and we're not going to let what happened in Game 2 repeat history. So let's find out who is going to winners finals. Again, big showdown right here brewing between the World's Greatest Detectives and Moonlit Knights. A lot of action starting off already. You see that? It's a little bit of that tick damage. People get caught up between that beam.
Yeah, and look at this. The way that we see the positioning coming out from Oops tier, it's just like, oh, okay, well, I can pull Velma just to create more space between us and the enemy team as well. So we're seeing the pool not only used for offstage, oh, can you get to it? Yep, yes. And just getting yoinked right back on the stage. And again, kind of covering that weakness Velma's biggest weakness. She used to be a lot heavier, not the lightest character, but definitely not as heavy as she used to be. She used to be really heavy.
Yeah, she used to have, she had a donk. Went ahead and reduced that a little bit, so smart play for sure, and Velma understanding that too, but still surviving right now. And
again.
So close. Velma, actually, the other Velma on the boost squad getting caught up a little bit, but the retaliation, yes. These two teams seemingly deadlocked the way they just kind of trade those points, not allowing anybody to develop too hard of a lead over the other one.
Yeah, we're really starting to see, oh my goodness, look at this, reading the DI. Legendary just doing such a great job of extending the combo with the downers, with the camera as well, getting so much damage onto this team right now. Rain Dog looking at that triple digit going up and over. Can you make it back? Okay, and look at the read on that. K7 just knowing, hey, I know you're gonna get the, man, this is, can they line up too? It's 2v1. Oh, not gonna get the 2v1 edge guard here.
They were almost there, but just not having quite enough time to make it count.
Okay, the up attack, it's not enough, but look at all this damage getting racked up, and Velma, Legendary already sitting at 152, so any stray hit's gonna do the trick there.
But to his credit, he's been at this higher percent for quite a while, and look at that, not shying away from getting super involved in the fight. Finally, though.
Wait, this could be a 2.
It might? Oh, that's it! That's it! Wow, okay, we are here, 3v3 on the point side of things, the immediate strike back. You never know.
Oh man, this is a really bad spot for the red team, and it doesn't matter how heavy you are. Look at that Batman coming through in the cut with the armor and all the equipment, going to take Raindog off the top for that final point.
It was those word bubbles that bounced him a couple times, and then K7 was able to sneak in there and apply the finishing blow. World's greatest detectives kind of got stomped a little bit in that first game. Immediate response with the 2 victories in a row to get themselves a spot in winners finals, and really cooling off what I would say was the hottest team coming into this, Moonlit Knights. Just based off what we saw earlier in bracket, we saw last week them winning, but the world's greatest detectives said, well, yeah, y'all won last week, but need we remind you, we weren't there. Well, they're here this time, and they just made a hell of a statement right there.
Yeah, and you pointed out earlier, World's Greatest Detectives are such a strong team when it comes to adaptation. I mean, we saw how dominant Moonlit Knights had that game number 1, right?
Yeah,
the Raindog came in. It was very apparent that that the World's Greatest Detectives were not ready for that team comp game 1, but we saw huge swings of adjustment. We saw a lot more aggressive play, and that is something. Like I said earlier, the World's Greatest Detectives, one of their biggest strengths is they're able to slow the pace down in certain scenarios. Their neutral resets are really, really clean, but we didn't see that much of that, right?
Yeah.
Like we still saw some here and there, but it was mainly like, okay, well, we're just gonna catch them positioning high, trying to throw the Raindog projectile down, right? So catching that position and then moving from there, instead of more neutral resets, it's like they played a little bit more aggressive and then they went for crazy all-in edge guards. Like, K7 was looking like Superman off stage. You know what I mean? Like, K7 was so far out there and was able to confirm so many early KOs, which is so important against this team because the Raindog just increases the survivability of your teammate with the pool, right? And then on top of that, Raindog is just heavy. So I love the World's Greatest Detectives, 1, being a lot more aggressive, and then 2, understanding like, okay, how do we compensate for this increased survivability? We have to go harder. We have to go for these all-in edge guards, and if I don't make it back, Legendary, you got to trade it. You know what I mean? If they end up edge guarding me, as long as you get the trade, and Legendary was so clean at getting so many trades off stage after K7 would just edge guard someone and then get KO'd by the teammate, and then Legendary would trade back. It was so clean.
They built that whole comeback off of just being able to get those good trades in every crucial scenario that benefited them. And obviously K7, like, you know, he's got the flash, you know what I'm saying? Like, we credit him a lot. Legendary is the perfect backup for him, right? Because he understands scenarios when he should come in and when he should withdraw from it too and leave it to K7. And he's just always there, like whether it be a setup, whether it be a kind of like a rescue mission, like dude he plays Velma exactly how K7 needs when it comes to just backing him up utility-wise. So beautiful.
Yeah, amazing stuff, amazing stuff. Well, I got to hear Yeso's insight and opinion on that last hit. It was such a banger. What do you got to say, Yeso?
I'm curious if that matchup might be the best one that we see today. And I love EE pointing out how really it was a tough start. That game 1 was pretty heavily in favor of Moonlit Knights, to talk about the maybe, you know, not quite as prepared for the Raindog in the matchup. Of course, in, you know, Moonlit Knights coming through last week, of course they won when, you know, K7 and the World's Greatest Detective duo weren't in the bracket. And certainly a statement there, because despite that struggle in game 1, pretty emphatic response and a good breakdown from Charles and EE there, just talking about that kind of push and pull play style and how Legendary just is able to follow up on whatever K7 is doing, adapting to the way that the teams respond to that Batman. And it looked really good to finish out that set, and they take the 2-1 win. And, you know, tell me if you've heard this one before, but we've got a winners finals with Vitamin Water and World's Greatest Detective. And Vitamin Water probably the favorites coming into this one. They have had the better of this matchup more often than not lately. But K7 and Legendary looking really good. Great response in the back half of that last set. And we'll have to see. I hope it's a tight set. Of course, now we get into best of 5 territory going into winners finals, and things get more interesting there. Of course, there's a little bit more wiggle room for that underdog team coming in. And I think that World's Greatest Detective are the underdogs here, but not by much, right? There's a reason that week in and week out when they're here, K7 and Legendary are going very deep in these brackets, are playing in losers and winners finals, but they've struggled to completely get over that vitamin water hump here in the new year, and we'll have to see if they can make it happen here today. Of course, they'll have a couple opportunities at it because getting to winners finals, you're guaranteed top 3. At the worst, you'll be playing in losers finals against one of those remaining teams on the bottom side of the bracket. But at the very least, I'm looking forward to winners finals. Should be a really fun set. Taking a quick peek on the lower side of the bracket just to kind of check where we are at. Of course, I was talking a lot about my kind of hype for Mike and Ike, feeling like they really could be the best team behind Vitamin Water in terms of the partnered squads. Couldn't get it done today, though. They go 0-2, and specifically they get dropped 2-0 up against State Fair. Down on the loser side of the bracket, of course, did State Fair go on and drop their set against Apache and Shiro. So that means that Vitamin Water, the only surviving team here of the Series E partnered squads in top 4. Apache and Shiro waiting in losers semifinals right now. They're waiting for the winner of Luck up against Moonlit Knights. Of course, Moonlit Knights just dropping that set, so they have that losers quarterfinal set that they're playing right now. The winner of that best of 3 jumps into the top 4, gets that last spot in that group, and will be up against Apache and Shiro. So it should have some really great sets to finish out that side of the bracket. Apache and Shiro building some of that momentum, but that 0-2 loss up against Vitamin Water, that one's going to sting. And as I mentioned earlier, they've struggled with that matchup as of late. It has been a roadblock for them. They're going to have to get through it eventually, especially because the competition isn't going to be any, necessarily easier on this loser side of the bracket. I would say Moonlit Knights likely favored in that matchup against Luck. That's going to be a tough set for them, and they either have to face Vitamin Water or World's Greatest Detective, which are 2 really tough duos in losers finals. So if Apache and Shiro really want to make a dent here today, they've got to be playing at the top of their game, because there's not going to be a single easy set for them the rest of this bracket. Looking forward, though, to what we're going to get soon. I'm going to throw a prediction on the table. I'm taking 3-2 Vitamin Water in winners finals. I think it's going to be tight. I think World's Greatest Detective can force it to 5 games, though as of late, they've struggled to do that in the first time they get around in that matchup. We've seen multiple times where they meet up in winners finals and then in grands as well, and typically the most lopsided of those sets is the earlier set in winners finals. I think they can force it to 5 games here, but I'm still taking Vitamin Water with Mirrorman back in the fold, but I would love to be proven wrong. I think it would be really interesting if Vitamin Water had to make that losers finals play, had to possibly beat an Apache and Shiro or a Moonlit Knights to get that rematch with World's Greatest Detective, but we'll keep an eye on that as things continue. We will have winners, finals, and more for you here from our Series E MultiVersus bracket on the other side of this break.
Tyson boneless buffalo bites have that tasty kick of flavor, so they're perfect for any get-together. If there are any left when your guests arrive. Tyson Anytizers Chicken. More kicks of flavor, more smiling snackers, more to love. Tyson.
All right, thank you for hanging in for that brief intermission. You already know, gonna give the team some time to relax and reset because we got more Series E here for MultiVersus. Beautiful Friday evening. EE, Charles here, holding it down on the ones and twos. And we're gonna be jumping in, Charles, to winners finals.
Yep, the usual suspects here at winners finals. Moonlit Knights, close, but not able to break the mold of the first and second seed. These two teams have been a cut above the rest throughout this first season here of MultiVersus when it comes to consistency. Took Vitamin Water a little bit of time, but once they started getting into those grands, it was first place after first place after first place. Before that, World's Greatest Detectives seemed like they were going to be like that consistent first seed, but then Vitamin Water just went on that tear. But World's Greatest Detectives, always a consistent contender, right? Always up in that grands whenever they showed up in that top 3 or so. So again, like I said, 2 of the most consistent teams here and definitely not changing up anything for this week.
Yeah, 100%. And that's, one thing I really do appreciate about both these teams is what? You just said it, consistency, okay? They are definitely the teams to watch right now, and one of them going to take their place in grand finals. This will be our first best of 5 of the bracket for winners finals, so get ready. Again, World's Greatest Detectives and Team Vitamin Water going at it yet again. Obviously, no surprise in these team comps. 2 Velmas, accompanied with a Bugz and Batman.
Yeah, Velma's still showing to be very relevant in the meta. We talked about it earlier, just very flexible character, especially as a backline as well. So, and then even, Bugz and Batman, very flexible. Usually you see them play as the frontline characters here. Okay, we got a little scuffle off stage here, going really deep. Oh my goodness, and I can't believe no one got hit there.
I am really surprised that, that's just kudos to Mirrorman. His ability to avoid that much, very impressive, but it is going to be an up air from Velma that finally puts an end to that one. Giving them the first point going the way of the red team.
Yeah, we talked about the offense, throughout this bracket and how really impressive edge guard, really impressive like 2v2 or 2v1 edge guards. But one thing to mention when we skip,
wow,
my goodness.
Oh my lord.
I was gonna say defense, but right now there's no defense on the side of Vitamin Water, finally biting back here, getting 1 point on the board. But right now it's World's Greatest Detectives with 2.
Yeah, they got absolutely cooked right there, no doubt about that. So nice little lead has developed already. Let's see if they can keep pushing it. Oh my goodness, just floating with disaster. Costelix, that Velma is in danger, and see you later. That's gonna do it. This point lead, very strong right now for the World's Greatest Detectives, coming out swinging and really putting this first game in jeopardy. Oh, narrowly missing that. Would have definitely got the KO on Bugz. And, oh my goodness, just barely surviving Velma. Going for it again. I love the pressure that they are putting out. They are not trying to give Mirrorman any room to breathe, any flexibility. Finds a little bit though and get another point on the board. They still got some work to do here.
Yeah, so far all the big Bugz cooldowns not really hitting their marks so far, but we've talked about how strong the defense is for Team Vitamin Water. Sometimes they can just really make it so hard to finish the game against them, right? So even though in the deficit here, you can't take your eyes off them, but in a really bad position is Mirrorman, and this should be the KO off the wall. Absolutely no resources, and Batman with the dive kick coming through. World's Greatest Detective with a dominant game number 1.
And notice how K7 got that final KO, right? It was all about patience. You said it, recognizing no resources left. I just have to time my moment perfectly. Does just that. And Mirrorman, as good as he was in a lot of situations with the evasiveness, not able to survive and get back to the stage on that occasion.
And you always got to shout out that Batman skin. That Batman skin's so dope. The samurai armor.
That's the feudal era, baby.
Yeah.
Don't mess with him. Cut you up.
Imagine having all of the devices back then too. Oh no.
Oh man, you're literally just gonna run the world. Like there's just no doubt about that. See, take a quick little look at some of the replays from this one. Again, we expected our winners finals to open up with a bang. Definitely though, red team just kind of started to assert themselves right into it. This was tremendous from Legendary, making some rather legendary plays. And then even up there, Velma being threatened. You saw the uppercut attempt from Batman. Didn't quite pan out, but they were able to find some room to acquire, some points, some damage. But still, at that point, you could just tell that red team was in such a favorable position, Charles.
Yeah, and getting Mirrorman with stuff like that is not an easy task. It is very hard to surprise Mirrorman. Mirrorman is, very knowledgeable of the game. I would argue the best multiverse player we have right now in competitive play, especially throughout the history of this game as well.
He's that dude. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, to clip Mirrorman with something like that, very impressive stuff. And again, it's just the really harping down into these 2v1s. Just, okay, my teammate's going to cover this option, I cover this other option, right? You're not necessarily going to cover everything, but when you can cover most options and you can kind of hedge your bets, well, that's the recipe for success here for the world's greatest detectives. We'll see if Team Vitamin Water can warm up here, heat up a little bit coming into this game number 2, because man, that was a rough one.
No doubt about that. I think World's Greatest Detectives too, like even just by their absence from last week, you kind of want to come back and make a bang, make a splash, and they're doing just that. They are definitely shaking up this bracket again with their presence being felt, yet again. So really nice to see them back, and obviously not missing a beat, back in form. So really going to put some pressure right now on Kostelix and Mirrorman to respond. They are a team, again, that's enjoyed a lot of success over this past month and a half for sure, but getting rocked in that first game. Let's see if game number 2 can give them a bit more hope. One thing you never want to do in situations like this, you don't want to be staring down the barrel of that 0-2 situation. So must win almost, in a sense, for this team now.
They're going to get some damage here. Mirrorman getting a little aggressive, getting the megaphone as well. Okay, and again, this is something we see often, especially with 2 Velmas, right? Both teams kind of back up, get the armor, set up what they need to set up here. So look at it, it's kind of like a little bit back and forth here. World's Greatest Detective taking a little bit more damage. Great anti-airs coming through. Okay, setting up the smoke bomb is a very impactful place to have the smoke bomb, but look at that blue team just totally disengaging away from that smoke bomb. Don't want any part of it. There's the up rocket, almost gets the up air there, tries to drop the safe here.
Oh my goodness, K7.
Oh, but you miss?
He did. Wow, I was going to say the control was looking phenomenal, but yeah, as you said, just one misplacement. We're going to let Kostelix back for free.
Yeah, and Kostelix with the reversal. Nice. I love the fade back on that double jump. So many players just really want to get back to stage, right? It's your natural instinct to, whenever you burn a resource, to go towards the stage. But you saw Kostelix there just jumping backwards, backing up a little bit, and then clean whip punish on that down special there, coming out from K7.
Yeah, that was sensational. All right, let's see who's gonna get this next point. You see Legendary trying to avoid Kostelix, but could not. Kostelix does a nice job sneaking in that up air, giving this blue team a little bit of a lead, but keep one eye on Mirrorman. Okay, knowing that percent starting to continue to rise already in those KO opportunities. Should K7 be able to position himself right, but forget about positioning. He's got to worry about just getting back to the stage right now, Charles. He's getting hammered.
Okay, trying to get this edge guard.
Good catch! Where are you going?
The way that Mirrorman just sets up the side airs to trap their opponent, or trap his opponent, or just condition his opponent into his down airs. Like, we've seen that situation happen so many times. The setups are so clean, and tries to get the up rocket there. Great avoidance coming out from the world's greatest detectives. The safe also being dropped as well. And now there's 2 big cooldowns that are going to be down here for a bit for Mirrorman. We'll see if world's greatest detectives can find an opening here, but no. The neutral being very, very clean coming out from Team Vitamin Water. Here comes the safe and the down rocket. Okay, and sending it right back up.
Oh my goodness, okay, nice attempt. Still, we are falling just a little bit short right now. I love the fact 3 points apiece. Anybody's game percentage slightly on the side of blue team for sure, and that's gonna do it. Yeah, even a slight lead is enough when you got someone as deadly as Kostelix and Mirrorman against you.
Yeah, and there's so many times where Mirrorman just kind of knows when someone wants to mash in self-defense, and he just uses the up rocket as a ridiculously strong anti-air.
Yep.
And there was able to catch his opponent swinging and was able to get the KO with the up rocket at a, I would say fairly early percentage, right? Like usually around that 80 to 100, you can just outright get the KO with the up rocket, or even at the mid percents around like 60 or so, you can get up rocket into a DI cross up air. That could also be another KO racked up. And again, Mirrorman just so good at finding those opportunities. He really does make it look easy with that up rocket, but again, like you said, you don't see other Bugz like getting it as often, as consistent as Mirrorman, right?
And here we go. Take a look at these replays. This was, again, a huge response from Team Vitamin Water. And I love what Koslik did there. You saw the fade back, really just punishing K7
That was so clean.
for some of that aggression. And we love K7 for that aggression, Charles, but sometimes it can lead to his downfall. And that was a perfect example of that by Koslik.
Yeah, again, it's just being so aware of essentially K7 trying to cover the route of what most players do, right? Most players, they jump towards the stage, but just such a great job on Koslik's part realizing that scenario here. And again, here's another down air setup after the side air wall cling, and just knowing exactly where his opponent wants to go after they see that side air. Mirrorman is so good at conditioning and getting the hard read afterwards with the down air.
All right, well, here we are going right into it. Game number 3. It has been a very good contest thus far between these two teams. See who can kind of win that rubber match, get that 2-1 advantage. You can definitely tell K7 not shying away again. If anytime there's an opportunity to swing, he will certainly be taking it. Oh, nice Sayers right there.
Ooh, here's the up rocket setup right at the edge.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Let's
Double
see.
down air. Oh, yeah, not going to connect here.
I actually like Mirrorman dodged the Batarang en route to trying to get that KO. Wasn't quite there, but I do like the awareness on his end.
Okay, there's the pie, the safe, avoiding all of this, but we're going to set up the ice here on both Velmas. Oh, K7 so close to getting the follow-up, the up rocket getting avoided here. These are really big cooldowns, not available for Team Vitamin Water. K7 trying to get the charge scoop on the up special, grounded of course. As the bomb as well on deck.
Ooh.
Does have it connected, going to chase down Velma. Oh, no follow-up though.
Okay, I do like that safe. Let's see. Trying to withdraw a little bit. Again, uses that side air very aggressively. And here comes that Acme rocket, just helping clear some space. Nicely done. Oh, watch out, Velma. Make you think twice, and actually kind of maybe helping set up a nice KO opportunity for the blue squad.
Oh, wow. Okay, just back-to-back KOs here for Team Vitamin Water. And, man, that first KO took so long because both teams were playing so clean, but immediate response coming from the red team. World's Greatest Detectives just answering back immediately.
I mean, that was just smart from K7. Like, he knew his percentage was so low. He was like, I could trade right here and I don't have to worry about getting KO'd. I'm in literally no danger. So,
yeah,
a really good call from him.
Oh, wow. You saw that battery making a lot of circles there. Not going to connect, but still the threat is just enough here. And K7 trying to get set up on this offense, avoiding the safe here and getting these big combo starters like down air would be so huge for Batman.
Definitely. Okay.
Okay, up and over. There's the rocket here. Again, the Batarang getting so much mileage out of this. Oh, not going to be able to cover. Mirrorman slipping by. Legendary there. Unfortunate. But look at this, man. Blue team kind of pinched in the center now.
Nice. There. I mean, at that point, yeah, you got to fight your way out. The safe a good way to kind of clear that out. Oh, almost got the combination off of the pie. I like the attempt right there for sure. Mirrorman, oh, being hella aggressive and being rewarded for it right now. 1 point to go right now for blue team. Let's see if they can put it together. The response, though, right now from World's Greatest Detectives, not looking like the greatest at the moment.
Yeah, this is, you're down a point. I mean, you could get a double KO back. Yeah, if you get Coslics right now, this could be it. Going for the edge guard, goes for the Batarang, but immediate assistant coming out from Mirrorman. Great save. Oh, but it's going to be enough. And the World's Greatest Detectives able to clutch out that game 3.
Something about them playing from behind. You know, it's hard to bet against them. They're going to go up 2-1 there. And, you know, it's easy, you know, in a lot of circumstances we've seen in the past too. Like, you see somebody right there at that KO percentage that can kind of win you the game. And teams will tunnel vision, and we've seen that actually lose them the game. Don't feel like that was the case at all for World's Greatest Detectives. They stuck to their game plan, and it paid off handsomely.
Ooh, tried to get the river, and this was a big overstep coming out from K7. Thought he could get the true combo from the down attack into the dare, but did not quite work out. Still, I mean, it looked like Team Vitamin Water had the control, right? And then this was the opportunity where just World's Greatest Detectives did a really good job. They got the control of the stage, and they were just able to get the 2 hits that really mattered and really were able to equalize this game.
Oh. All right, man. This, yeah, again, you know, and there was really came to the point where just like, you don't know who's necessarily going to win here. I think that's what made it that much more compelling too. Like, it's obviously a very pivotal moment in the set, right? To go up 2-1 for sure. And the fact that they were able to pull that out nicely was fantastic. And you kind of look at that percent too, 44 and 75. They weren't in any immediate danger of allowing them to kind of come back. And, you know, it kind of is basically like who's going to avoid that last hit on both sides. No, they were in a pretty solid commanding spot. And it was on the other side where you knew Kostlix had to be the man to kind of avoid a lot of stuff. And it just was not to be.
Yeah, really convincing percentage-wise. And I think they just played it really clean, right? And the very first KO took so long. I really want to point that out. I feel like
they were scrapping.
Both teams are just playing really clean, and it just goes to show when you get the lead in this matchup, it's just so important, right? It really just kind of dictates who has to approach who and who has to pressure who in what scenario. And you know, both these teams feel like they fight the hardest in that very first point.
All right, well, let's see who's got the fight right now to take this game number 4. Opportunity for the world's greatest detectives to close it out right now, get in the grand finals, and just do a whole lot of big chilling. You already know, though, Team Vitamin Water back to their true full form. Looking to get back to those winning ways. Got 2 matches in a row to win to get it done right now in winners finals. Love the scrap fest we're seeing already between the two. Just so much movement, right? Nobody ever just staying stationary. It's everybody trying to take control of the stage, and what a trade that's going to benefit Mirrorman. Got that pie out right now, clearing a little bit of a recovery route. The Alchemy Rocket, as we said, always available to him. One of those resources, but going to get clipped up there by Legendary, who is asserting himself. Can we get back safely? Yes, we can. K7 narrowly surviving.
Yeah, that would have been a huge,
super early too.
Yeah, if K7 got put in a really bad spot and Mirrorman was able to capitalize off of that. But we're even in terms of point count, but if you are Kostlix, you gotta watch out here. Kostlix is gonna have a lot of space and a lot of room to get escorted back to the stage safely here. 97 now at 100%, getting racked up a little bit more damage, but look at all the control coming out from the red squad right now. But it is Mirrorman that's swinging the bat towards the upper blast zone.
Yeah, Mirrorman's got to be that offensive presence, right? You need him to get those KOs and those conversions. That's one thing that we kind of been seeing lacking the previous 2 games. To get back to those aggressive winning ways though right now.
Okay, it's great smoke bomb positioning here, but look at that, just coming through. Red team has a huge opportunity. Maybe they can line up 2 right now. Amazing defense coming out from Team Vitamin Water, just diffusing that situation. That scenario was set up so well for the world's greatest detectives.
100%. In fact, they didn't really actually get too much off of it either. Sigh of relief, I'm sure, for the blue team. Oh, wow! Talk about getting knocked into the worst possible trajectory. That was insane.
Yeah, the KDI into the up rocket it's not where you want to be. It is not where you, especially that high up. That might have KO'd you at like 20 or 30.
Yeah,
it was
right.
Just so high up in the sky, man.
Definitely hard to predict those kind of situations, but nonetheless, it did come to pass. So here we go.
Mirrorman is at a higher percent here if they can catch the rabbit. But let me tell you, it is really hard to do. Here comes the rabbit hole right now. Yep, just back and forth here. Mirrorman is going to be a little slippery, but not slippery enough to avoid the K7 up special. You see that so much times coming out from Batman just for the KO or just for damage. K7 is not shy about that.
Yet again, yeah, might actually come down to Kostlix again and what defense he can bring to the table. Uh-oh, but hold on a second. Don't want to speak too soon. Oh, what a down air from Mirrorman. The clutch gene rearing its head at the most opportune time to force a Game 5 in winners finals.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many things Team Vitamin Water can rely on, right? Whether it be Kostlix's defense towards the end, whether it be Mirrorman's clutch offensive plays with either cooldowns or just some basic side airs or down airs off stage. This team has so many different outs, and it shows every single set.
And I said it, man, the one thing is we're going to see it in the replays that they need, Team Vitamin Water desperately needed was Mirrorman to get back to those aggressive ways, get those KOs when applicable, and he didn't disappoint. I mean, you saw the stats, 4 KOs and over 300 damage dealt. He was on a mission in this game number 4 and did not disappoint.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The numbers definitely don't lie in this scenario here. And K7, I mean, honestly, was able to set up a lot of great smoke bombs and a lot of great positionings. But again, Team Vitamin Water feels like they're able to diffuse a lot of these really amazing setups coming out from the world's greatest detectives, especially that last game. I felt like there was at least 2 scenarios where it's like, okay, you got the smoke bomb set up so you can't use projectiles defensively right at the edge, right? And then you can set up for an edge guard situation or just hold that stage. And Team Vitamin Water was able to come back from those scenarios without losing a single point. So, I mean, kudos to them. It's just amazing gameplay because those setups are really hard to break through, especially coming out from the world's greatest detectives. Usually when world's greatest detectives set up a really strong positioning like that, they snowball it to at least like a ton of damage at the very least, right?
That was insane. Kudos to them, 100%. Game 5, it seems like, you know, between these two, you look at the history between them, you know, you look at the stage that we're on right now, it just seems like it was unavoidable. Destiny has arrived yet again for these two teams. Who's going to Grands, though? You don't have to wait too long to find out. All going to be contested here on Sky Arena.
I feel like both of these teams have had the most Game 5 scenarios in this Season 1 of Series E. I could be wrong. If I had to take a guess, it would be these two teams because they have had so many showdowns, and especially when you get into like grand finals and like reset scenarios and stuff like that, they've had so many Game 5s, man.
And that's part of the thing that's made them such a fun team to really watch and enjoy is the fact that we know, that they've won a lot of them too, right? Like it's, you know, when you get to these situations and you close it out, and that goes for both teams, and that goes for against each other too. That's what makes this final match so unpredictable. It can literally go either way, a true 50-50, if you will.
Okay, there's the safe setup. Oh, the up rocket just barely avoiding it is legendary. Okay, not gonna hit anything here. Gonna set up big time here. The down rocket, yep, not gonna set up the rabbit hole, but the smoke bomb, the armor gets set up on the red side, and you see none of these teams are skipping a beat. Even if there's no fighting, quote unquote, going on, there's some kind of setup going on both
100%.
Sides.
They're kind of preparing for the fact, like, okay, they're going to maybe try and make their move here. What are going to be our countermeasures? Back-to-back up airs, putting this blue team in a very favorable position right now, Charles. They are cooking.
Dang, man, Mirrorman, you got the pie confirms? Yo, hold on. You don't just confirm off up bracket. We confirming off the pies now?
That man said it's magically delicious, okay? I got something to say right now. He is absolutely going to town. Oh, my Lord. I don't know what has happened in this Game 5, but Mirrorman has absolutely awakened. Koslik's doing a fantastic job on the defensive end as well.
I love the recovery coming off from Koslik's utilizing that side special. Incredible stuff.
Oh, okay. I think those word bubbles might have saved K7 there. Was looking to take another up air. I don't think he would have survived. They've really got to slow them down, get some points on the board. They are taking too much percentage right now. That's going to be too easy for the blue team to take advantage of. Slow the bleeding down.
Okay, finally get sniped off stage.
Okay,
Koslik's in a really bad spot. Yeah, you should be
No.
able to. Oh, but the word bubble is able to get the final hit. All right, okay, so getting 2 back. They've taken quite a bit of damage to do it, but as long as you're just utilizing that movement, I've seen K7 become very, very difficult to hit here, but there's so much things to avoid. Look at the trapping coming out, and I love that Mirrorman timed the up air to lace with the word bubble pressure, right? So the word bubble coming out from his teammate, and just that slight delay, there was no options there for K7.
Yeah, those word bubbles have been incredibly impactful, whether it's getting the KO or it's helping enable them. Definitely both Velmas making their presence felt one way or another, not just the big KOs coming out from Mirrorman, who's looking to get maybe one more. This Velma in some danger for sure. 100 and I couldn't even see the percent. That's how quickly Velma got knocked off the screen. So Team Vitamin Water does it again in the clutch, handling business when they needed to, and they are yet again, stop me if you heard it before, in grand finals in another godlike performance from Mirrorman. 4 KOs again, nearly 300% done. Him and Velma absolutely cooking.
So you're the rabbit, man. Bugz money in the building, man. You saw the tux? You got the tux on. Bugz looking nice.
He said, I'm here to get paid right now. You think moving's cheap? What?
Mr. WB himself in the building, always getting the job done. And of course, Mirrorman alongside with Koslik's, such a powerful duel. You see Koslik's really enabling Mirrorman in so many scenarios, and Mirrorman's offense and just the way Mirrorman is able to find all these points. I mean, back-to-back games, 4 KOs.
That's nuts.
Just every single time able to find the bat. But it's especially that word bubble situation, right? Because it's Mirrorman knowing how to lace his offense alongside of Koslik's setups, which make it so powerful, or alongside his own setups. incredible
That
stuff
was
here.
huge, and that's what ended up actually felding that team and putting them in the dirt. Great conversion. And again, as I said, Mirrorman realizing, okay, I gotta pick it up, and he did that and then some. So, between those last 2 games, dropping 8 KOs to help your team get the grand finals, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That's hard to beat.
That's one way to book a ticket into Grands.
100%, bro. That's hard.
Confidence at 110% here for Team Vitamin Water. And we're talking about this week. Last week wasn't, a normal week in terms of our top seeds coming through. Still had a very exciting week last week. We saw the Moonlit Knights come through with the surprising Rain Dog pick and really just take the tournament. And we thought Moonlit Knights were going to be in the winners final side of things just because of such a strong performance. They're very close, but not going to come through here. We'll see if the Moonlit Knights, though, could make a run through losers, possibly, right? But we'll see what's kind of cooking up on the loser side of things. I believe next up we do have losers semifinals, so that will also be a best of 5 because it is in top 4. But man, Team Vitamin Water just showing so much consistency, looking like they're gonna get their 5th win in a row with this roster here. World's Greatest Detectives came out really strong that set, but man, that turning point in Game 4 was just so rough, and they even rode that momentum into Game 5. That very early part of Game 5 just felt so dominating for Team Vitamin Water.
Yeah. That was incredible. Oh, so I just got interesting update. We are going to be jumping into winter semis, but it's already actually taken place. And just so you know, apparently it's 1-1.
All right, loser semis coming up. It's 1-1 currently. So
loser semis, baby. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
That's crazy. That's already 1-1. Okay.
Yep.
Sometimes you kind of get, sometimes you gotta get that feeling. It's like, you know what? I know you're over there playing winners, but I ain't got time to wait. Let's go ahead and, you know what I'm saying? So late on the East Coast.
Shiro and Apache on the Harley Wonder Woman. This is another one of their double rushdown combinations.
They got options, baby.
This team has got to be the most diverse in terms of characters. Both players are very willing to switch between a vast variety of characters. Earlier, we saw this team on the Stripe and the Finn and some other combinations as well. But oh man, Rain Dog almost getting those up airs.
Oh wow, Rain Dog was being hella aggressive, actually getting caught in the air, unable to land, and going to be put to rest on that one to give the red team the first point. I like this combination of Harley and Wonder Woman, 2 very strong divas teaming up to cause some havoc right now.
Oh, and the charged up
Oh,
attack.
nice, that's it, yeah.
Man, I gotta say, that's one thing that Oops here loves on this Rain Dog. He likes to charge that up attack. He'll either dodge cancel or just go right into, and the longer you charge that up attack, the higher in the air you go, very similar to someone like Finn, right? So you just see he loves to set up those up attacks into the up airs. Oh, but watch it, 35%. This is a little bit smaller side on the blast zone here, so you gotta be really careful.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, nice.
No, again.
Hell of a pickup there. That was incredible.
Yeah, Oops, they're kind of getting bullied on this Rain Dog.
I was going to say, man, wow. And that's definitely something we are not accustomed to saying too often. Really nice positioning for the red team.